Hello everyone, welcome to the Nmap Scripting Engine Part 2 Enumeration Section 4. In the first video of the Section 4, we're going to talk about Nmap DNS enumeration. Let's see what is DNS enumeration exactly and what we're talking about here. Enumeration DNS names using the DNSSEC and SEC-working technique. Output is arranged by domain within the domain subzones are shown in an increased indentation. The NSEC response recorded in DNSSEC is used to give negative requests and answers to queries, but it has the side effect of the allowing enumeration of all names, much like the zero transfer. The script doesn't work against the servers that use NSEC tree rather than NSEC. For that, we can see in the next comment in the following slides how it's going to work. In our argument, in our script, the domain or list of the domain to enumerate, if not provided, the script will make a guess based on the name of the target. Let's see the comment. Here's the comment as you can see. Nmap-S, capital SU, -P stand for the port, 53 - script, and the following script, DNS NSEC enumeration, and - script, and we set the argument that stands for DNS. So in the following, as you can see, if the servers use NSEC tree rather than NSEC, then it should be DNS-NSEC tree enumeration or enum. Let's see the outputs. Here's the comment as you can see, example usage, and the script output of this comment. As you can see, our target is example.com, and all the DNS subdomains that's available, the following target. Let's have a summary on a video. First, we're talking about the DNS enumeration, then we provide the comment, and then we saw what's happened next and what is the result and output of the comment. The next video will be Nmap HTTP enumeration. Good luck. Here we are again with another video from Section 4. In this video, we're going to talk about Nmap HTTP enumeration as well. First, let's see what is HTTP enumeration. In this scenario, a fingerprint file that's similar to the format of the Nikto web application scanner. This script, however, takes it one step further by building an advanced pattern matching as well as having the ability to identify a specific version of web applications. So far from here, we understand that the scanning phases of a penetration testing are arguably the most important of the entire process. Without a clear understanding of the bigger picture and the avenue potentially availability, we won't be going to very far at all. As a part of this process, it's very lucky that you regularly come up against the web servers, and just as likely that these servers will be hosting web applications. I mean, what is the point of the web server otherwise, right? So, within this mind, it is critically important to be able to properly enumeration and gather information from these servers as you go about your penetration testing. So in this video, we're going to talk about HTTP enumeration and gather information about our target in a web server. So, the next question is, which Nmap script can be used to show potential risk HTTP methods? We're going to show an example in the next slide and run the command on our terminal. Here's the script, nmap-s capital V - script, and HTTP enumeration that we're going to use this script for our targets. Let's test it on that. Well, here we are at our Cal Linux. As you can see, we run the command nmap-s capital V and our script and our target. As you can see, after a while, the Nmap getting a result for us on the DNS record for the target, and the port and the status and the services we need, and the version of the services that is very useful to find the vulnerability and CV for it. We're going to scroll down. I'm going to see the result for the fingerprinting strings. We're going to have a cache control here and link. We're going to scroll down and the script of the HTTP header. Body, as you can see, if you're familiar with HTTP, you can easily read this script. As you can see, this is the part of our targets. I'm going to scroll down again. Web font config options. As you can see, we have more options here that IMAP and POP3S that's used for mail services are open as well. Let's have a review on our video. First, we're talking about HTTP enumeration, a quick brief in HTTP enumeration. Then we provide a comment and explain about it. And then we run the command on our terminal. In the following video, we're going to talk about Nmap MySQL enumeration. Good luck. Hello and welcome to another video from section 4 Nmap scripting engine part 2 enumeration. In this video, we're going to talk about Nmap MySQL enumeration, section 4, video 4.3. First of all, let's see what is MySQL enumeration. Perform a valid user enumeration against MySQL server using a bug discovered and published by server versions 5.x are susceptible to a user enumeration tag due to different messages during login when using old authentication mechanism from version 4.x and earlier. So, the second question is how to enumerate a cipher for MySQL server using Nmap. Let's go to see the comment. Well, here's the comment, nmap-script and the script MySQL-num and the targets. Let's test it in our lab. So here we are in our Kali Linux. As you can see, here's the comment nmap-script MySQL and -num and the targets. And here's the results and output of the comment. The port and the state that is open and the service is MySQL and the reason is CNAG. You can see the account is admin, empty and a valid credential. So the result should be like this when you're doing SQL enumeration. We can see the accounts and a test that we're using for the credentials when using a login or trying to transfer a MySQL transaction website as a static perform attack. Let's have a review on a video. The first step, we have a quick brief on SQL enumeration, MySQL enumeration, then we explain the comment and explain the output of the comment as well. In the next video, we're going to talk about Nmap SMB enumeration. Good luck. Hello again, folks. I hope you doing great and practice all the commands far from here. This is section 4 in Nmap scripting engine part 2 enumeration. This is the fourth video from section 4, and we're going to talk about Nmap SMB enumeration. SMB protocol, commonly known as Server Message Block Protocol, has been a hot target among threat actors for many years because it is complexly and open nature. This protocol was prone to be performed after attacks from SMP null session to Eternal Blue. It is the reason we are about to cover the SMB enumeration in this video and going deep with the Nmap SMB script, also known as the Nmap scripting engine SC that we talked about in the whole section. However, the SMB has covered a long journey in terms of its security hardening. It has been updated and improved to the newest security standards in the recent Windows operating system release. I guess the last SMB version is the SMB version 3.1 in a Windows 10 and a Windows Server 2006, while the most vulnerable was SMB version 1 in a Windows XP and a Windows Server 2003. Because it's not a secure history, because it doesn't have a secure history, it always be good to protocol for any threat actor for ethical hackers. So with tools like Nmap SMB script, it makes it even easier to attack the perform SMB enumeration. And also, it is not as surprising that we still have a legacy end of life, what we call EOF, operating system running in the various public and private sector organizations. A quick query in Shodan, that is a website for information gathering and analyzing targets, confirmed that there is a lots of and a variety of the publicly accessible in the SMB ports, and it can be easily visited. Not everyone will be doing their housekeeping, securing their stuffs. Let's say that there's a lots and they left many of them to a hot target to attack. So there's a variety of the targets that you can test your scripts on them. So let's see why SMB enumeration is important. is used to communicate over TCP/IP in network that we talked about what is TCP/IP before in the previous section. As a client-server protocol used for file sharing, printing, serial ports, and other resources on a network. SMB can allow other applications and users to access files or execute command in a remote server. So, a client application can read, write, and execute files and have the full permission that means on the server depending upon the configuration on SMB share. Also, port for SMB is 445, while 13529 ports are used for the RPC console, which are essential for remote management for the Windows systems for sure. But it is essential to keep the target we are trying to achieve for enumeration in services. So this is a particular case we will getting system information, null sessions, open shares, and CVE is like eternal blue for these services. But we're not going to cover all the SMB vulnerability in this session, in this course actually, because it's just about Nmap, not SMB. But it's a very good title if you want to work on it and research on it by yourself. So these open shares might include some sensitive information like usernames, password, hashes, keys, TGC, or etc., which can be used further in the process and for many purposes in the process. So to conclude, as a per many knowledge we enumerate in SMB for many reasons, for example, null sessions, open shares, CVEs, and system informations. As you know, Nmap, we are going to use Nmap for SMB enumeration, but there's always other tools, for example, SMB map or MBTS scans and enum for Linux. You can also use them for if you're interested in SMB enumeration. So how many Nmap has SMB scripts for enumeration? Actually, I guess there are 35 Nmap SMB script as part of SNE as a default. We will go into some of them, see one of them, and try one of the commands and show you how it works. But there's lots of the commands. For example, we have SMBOS discovery that's trying to find out the computer names, domain names, virus names. If you remember in the previous section, we talking about OS discoveries in a network. It's gonna look like that. There's other commands. For example, enum shares that's publicly exposed to SMB shares. If available, of course. In addition, if Nmap is not able to get shares from any host, it will be first commonly used share names to check if they are accessible. Also, there is enum users as user suggested, as of course that name is obvious. It is enumeration all users on a remote operation system using two different techniques. First, the LSA brute forcing, and the second one is SAMR enumeration. So you can search on it for yourself if you're interested about it. I'm not going to cover it because we cannot actually perform penetration testing on an active user or active target. It's ethical hacking. Unfortunately, we can do that. So, of course, there's other comments, but we're going to just cover some of them. But first, let's see what comments are available in the Nmap NSE database. And then we're going to cover one or two of the scripts. So this is the script that we may want to work on it. But let's first see the SMB database on the Nmap NSE. So let's go to our lab. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to CD and using to change our directory. Sure, Nmap, as I said, this is the path that's usually Nmap scripts are available in it, so you can easily have an access to it. So we are in it. I'm gonna use ls using grep to find out all the SMB scripts. As you can see, wow, so it's kind of the number I said, 35 maybe. The scripts here, you can see the security mode, service stats, system info, also some CVE from 2017. Also, we have enum enumeration, groups, process services sessions, and lots of NSE, right? Okay. So I'm gonna clear the screen and back to our main directory. So for example, as I said, if you want to use another script for our test, and then go to our main comment. I'm going to use this one, discovery, let's say -p. I'm going to use import 4405, yeah. I'm going to use this one and the targets. So we're going to wait for the result. It's going to take a while, of course. So host is down, so it's probably, well, it's not active host. So let's test another comment, and let's go back to our PowerPoint and let's see what comment do we use. So this is the comment that we choose to perform for you, SMB, enumeration users.nse on the specific port that we want and target, and we're going to click enter. And here's the results. It was fast. The DNS record and the port status is filtered, of course, but the service is Microsoft-DS. That's try to have a user enumeration on it. But we know it's a main server plus.pro. So let's get back to our PowerPoint. Well, let's have a review and a summary on a video. We have a quick brief and then providing comment talking about it, what is useful and what we're going to do about it. And then we execute a comment in the terminal and show the result and how it's going to work and talking about SME and the vulnerabilities and all the possibility that you can perform an attack against SMB servers. The next video, we're going to talk about Nmap, MISC, and you're going to find out what is that, enumeration. Good luck. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Nmap Scripting Engine Part 2 Enumeration Section 4. This is the last video from Section 4, and we're going to talk about more scripts on Nmap. In addition to the interesting port table, Nmap can provide further information on the target, including reverse DNS names, operation system, guesses, device types, and MAC addresses, as you know. A typical Nmap scan is shown in the following slides. The only Nmap arguments used in this example is -A to enable OS and version detection, script scanning, and trace root -T for faster execution, and then the host name. Let's try our comment in the following slide. Here's the comment as explained, and let's test it in all that. Here we are in our Kali Linux, and here are the comment, and hit the enter and wait for the results. Alright then, here's the result of the Nmap. Alright, here's the result and output of the comment. As you can see, there's useful information on it. For example, at the first step, we have the SSH server and a version of it. And then we have SSH host key. It's very useful for DSS and RSA that's encrypted. And then we have TCP and state and the services and a version of it. Then we know it's Ubuntu, the HTTP server header, and a version, of course. And then more details about the OS. It's a Linux, it's a kernel Linux, and then network distance and the service info. Also, we have more information on the target and trace routes from machine to the targets. Let's have a summary in the video. First, we have a quick brief and provide the comments and talk about it and what does it do, and then we see the output and the useful information that Nmap provides us. The next video we have Nmap Scripting Engine Part 3 Web App Hacking from Section 5 first video. Good luck. Hello and welcome back to another section, Section 5, Nmap Scripting Engine Part 3. It promises the last part of the Nmap Scripting Engine, Web App Hacking. This is the first video of Section 5, so we're going to talk about a little about the fundamentals. So we're going to talk about the basic of the HTTP. First, what is HTTP and how it works? Well, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol and is used for transferring data across the web. There's a critical protocol for web developers to understand that because of it, the widespread and use of it in the transferring data and comments in IoT applications. The first version of the protocol had only one method, namely GET, which would request a page from a server. The response page from the server was always an HTML page. So obviously you saw an HTML page. To give you an idea how simple HTTP protocol started, you may want to take a look at the original specification, which only one page in Wikipedia. There have been several versions of HTTP, starting with the original version was 0.9. The current version is 1.1 and was the last revised in 2014. So let's see how it works exactly. Like most of the internet protocol, HTTP is a comment and response text-based protocol using the client-server communications. So clients send a request to the server, a server responds to the client. The client makes a request and server responds. Okay? So the HTTP protocol is also a stateless protocol, meaning that the server isn't required to store the session information, and each request is independent of the other. What does that mean? That means all the requests organized and at the clients. It means your browser, you're the client. And the server responds at request, and the request, that means comment, and the response are in a readable text. So the requests are independent of each other, and server do not or doesn't need to track the request. Let's talk more about request and response. Request and response message structure are the same in the message body of the HTML. For example, a comment or a request optional headers plus optional body content. For example, a response consists of this: status of the code, the optional header, and optional body content. For example, in the previous session, we saw the HTTP enumeration. We talked about the bodies, and we saw exactly of a body of the HTTP enumeration. A simple CRLF, that's mean carriage, return, and line feed combination is used to delimit after parts, and a single blank of the CRLF indicates end of a header. If the request or response contain a message body, then it is indicated in the header. The percent of the message body in the request is signaled by content length and the transfer encoding header field. What about HTTP requests? We saw the general request response format earlier. Now we will cover the request message. So in this mandatory structure is as follows. For example, method plus request path and a protocol version. For example, when you are in the website, you can see the link. We talk about the get methods. There's a get and post method that we're going to talk about later. But the get method is as I said, the method, and the following page and the test page, for example, .html is a relative path to the resource, and HTTP/1.1 is a protocol version of you're using. Let's have a summary. First, we talk about HTTP. And what is HTTP exactly? As a request response protocol, HTTP gives the users a way to interact with the web resources such as HTML files. And for the last step, I'm going to tell you that in the following video, we're going to talk about the commands for the HTTP and related to HTTP. But also, we worked as a HTTP enumeration in the last section. May you want to take a look again. The next video will be HTTP scripts part 1. Good luck. Welcome back to another video from section 5 and my script engine part 3 with app hackings. So this is the second video from section 5, and in this video we're going to talk about and have an overview into the HTTP scripts. As you know, there's a variety of scripts in the Nmap engine, so we're just going to take a look at some of them and explain about them. Refer to the last videos and previous videos. You can find all the HTTP scripts in the Nmap scripts. But let's go and have some review on them. So what is our commands? Let's go to our Kali Linux. So here we are at a Kali Linux. The first script is nmap -h script and the HTTP backup finder. What does it do exactly? Here, a quick brief on it. Spider a website and attempt to identify the backup copy of discovered files. It does so by requesting a number of the different combinations of the file name. For example, index.back or index.html. And our second command, we have nmap-p, the standard port and the specific port for the target, and -h script, Mongo database, and the host. So this script attempts to get a list of the tables from MongoDB database. The third one is nmap-h script, HTTP config backup. So obviously check for the backups of files of common content management system and web server configuration files. The next one is nmap-h script, HTTP proxy boot -p, and a stand for the port and a target. So what does it do exactly? Perform a brute force password guessing against HTTP proxy servers. The next one is, we talked about it in the previous videos, so this might be an overview for you about the scripts. This script used the OnPWDB and brute libraries to perform password guessing. Any successful guesses are stored in Nmap registry using the creds library for other script to use. So let's talk about again nmap-script, http-brute, and standard for the port 18. The next port and the next command is nmap-script and http RFI spider and the standard for the port. Crawls web servers in a search of RFI that remove file inclusion vulnerabilities, as is one of the OWASP top 10 if you are interested about it. It tests every from field it finds and every parameter of the URL containing a query. The next one is test for access with a default credential used by a variety of web application and devices. So where's the command nmap-p80 for the port and -script, HTTP default accounts and host or IP. So it works similar to the HTTP enumeration that we talked about in previous videos, which is an application by matching noun paths and launching a login routine using a default credential when found. This script depends on the fingerprint files containing the target's information, for example, names, categories, location paths, a default credential, and login routine. And the last command is upload a local file to remove the web server using the HTTP method. You must specify the file name and URL path with NSC arguments. So to take attention closely to this one, nmap-p and port and the IP and -script, HTTP put and -script, and we're setting the arguments and http-put.url, and we uploading the readme.php and http-put.file and attempt and readme.php. So far from here, we talk about a lot about Nmap script engine and all the scripts, so we have an overview to make sure you remember all of them. Our next video actually going to be interesting. We're going to writing an NSA script and have an introduction to how to write NSA script by yourself, and customize it as may you wish. Good luck. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from section 5, Nmap scripting engine part 3. This is the last video of the section 5, and actually we're having an interesting topic called the writing an NSA scripts. So in this video we are going to customize our language and the script that we want to work with in Nmap. So if you want to be a professional ethical hacker, if you want to be a professional penetration tester, you might want to have your own script and stop using other scripts from other people or default scripts. So when you become a professional, when you have your own stuff, so we're gonna introduce you and tell you what is the first step. Begin an interview for being a professional word. So what language are we going to use? The Lua is the language of the Nmap scripting engine. So all the NSA script that you may saw in the NSE or Nmap script directory in the Linux are written by Lua programming languages. So what is Lua exactly? Lua is a very flexible and supporting potential and functional and object-oriented programming. Lua is meant to be portable, so it can easily embed into the other applications such as C API, and it can run easily and nearly on all the platforms, so including Unix, Windows, and mobile devices, and embedded microprocessors such as ARM. So Lua has been used in many popular applications. But let's go over basics to you make feel free about it, you feel comfortable about it, and try to find out what is exactly we don't want to make it very comfortable for you, because this is not a programming course. We want to introduce the Lua, see how the functions works, see how to run a little bits and easily a script for the first time, and proud of yourselves for sure. So first we're going to see the functions, how it works, and then we're going to run an example and our customized tools in our Kali Linux and then run it on a Kali Linux too and see how it's working or not. So before everything, I want to introduce documentation of the NSA documentations in the Nmap website that have everything that you need to know about NSA documents. You have a good knowledge and good information about how to route your own script if you want to get help on it and try to all the documentation tags to be professional or write the more complicated tools for yourself. Another website I want to introduce you, this is the riplets.com and a language law. You can choose a language from here and it's going to run your code online without needing to have it on your computer or whatever. You can do it in your mobile too. So this is the first code of our law programming. So as you can see here, I wrote a little bit easy code for you. I'm going to explain it. So what we're doing here, we're doing a function and we're providing a function as an A and B. If you look at here, in the end of the code, we ask the user with io.read to enter a number. As you can see here, print enter two numbers. So first, we're going to ask a user to first enter the first number, that's called A, as you can see here, function A, and then enter the B, and we again ask him to enter a second number, and the number B. And then, when we talk about print sort AB, we come back to the loop here. So we can see we told the program to, if the number A was bigger than number B, then return to the A, or else return to the B. Trying to find out which number was bigger than the other. Let's run the application to understand. You can run the application by the bottom here, run. We're going to click run, and it asks us to enter two numbers. As you can see here, we ask to print two numbers and show this sentence to the user. We're going to enter number 7, and then it asks us the second number. We're going to enter number 9. As you can see, it's going to respond to us with a bigger number, that is 9. Let's try it again. Another number, 8. And the second number is going to be 2. It's going to reply us to the 8 is bigger than 2. So this is how functions work. It's easy and short to understand better as a law language programming. So let's go to our Kali Linux. So here we are in our Kali Linux. As always, we're going to this directory, user share, nmap, and scripts to make sure we're writing our script in the directory of the script and database of the NSE scripts. So before everything, we need to know more about the law. So let's open our test code to make sure what we're going to do here. I'm going to use a nano editor, call it our script. .nsa. Alright, here we are with our sample code that is customized. So let's go with some basics to again going deeper into the language. Comment to begin with a double hyphen or double dash and round end of the line. For example, like this one, dash dash or double hyphen and head. So in a traditional learning programming language we saw in the last page, the last slide to working on functions, and also the global variables do not need to be declared, and unlike some languages, there is no error to accessing the variable that is not initialized. So instead, this value nil or nil will be returned to the local variable, on the other hands are assigned to using the local keywords. So you saw that they're using a loop in the last step. So we know how the functions work here now. For demonstrating our purpose, we will compile a simple script that determines if the given port is open and output a relevant message. Let's begin with the head. For now, we can put in a short description and leave it that. For example, here is simple script example that determines the port begin or open. So next, we can move on to the rules section. Let's define a port rule that to determine whatever any given the port on open or not. We set a rule for it, and a port rule and a function. We call it host and port, and we said return to the port.protocol for the TCP and a port.state is open or not, and end the loop. Now we can define the actual script logic in the action section. Let's have a script displaying a message for any given port that is open. For example, if it's come back as a true or open, we call it action to function hosting port and return this port is open and the end. So let's run our script. We're going to close it with a dash. Control X. I'm going to use this script nmap-p18 two ports that we set in the for the target, and we want to test it in our script, and using dash as a script, our script, so we nmap should know that what we call it. We don't need to put a .nsc at the end of it, and our website of the targets. And we're going to wait for the result. Okay, let's run it again. Alright, here we are. So as you can see, this is exactly how we wrote it. To say this port is open. This port is open. Two port that we're looking for. That's great, right? Customize your results as you wish. So let's get back to our PowerPoint. So we write our script in a Kali Linux. Also, we test it in our lab too. Let's have a video summary. First, we have an overview, the Lua programming language and how we can write it. We write our code and explain it, and then we execute it in the command line. Our next video is going to be nmap Metasploit integration. It's going to be first video of the section 6. Good luck. Hello there everyone, welcome to new section of this course. This section called Integrating Nmap section 6. In the first video of the section 6, we're going to talk about nmap Metasploit integration. So let's see, does Metasploit use nmap, or how to connect nmap to the database in Metasploit? Or what is Metasploit exactly? So, Metasploit framework is a penetration testing tool that can exploit and validate vulnerabilities. It's kind of like a tool like nmap that we use in Kali Linux, but it's a whole different story. But we're going to just point at it. We're not going to talk about it a lot because it's a whole another course. But we're going to take a point at it, try to talk about it, and show you to how you can connect to the database in the Metasploit for nmap. So it also contains the basic structures and specific content and tools which are necessary for penetration testing and advanced security assessments in our job. It is one of the most famous exploiting frameworks, and it is updated regularly. You can just update it every time. You can. There's a website of it too, so you can check the versions and new release. So new exploits are updated as soon as they are published on a website or in tool. It has many tools that are used for creative security workspaces or vulnerabilities testing or penetration testing systems in a network or wireless. The Metasploit framework can be accessed in the Kali Linux, same as nmap, and well as you can launch it directly from the terminal. But let's see a comment. Here's a comment, but before explaining that, let's see how we can run Metasploit and how we can put ourselves to the MSF console. As always, here we are in our Kali Linux. The first command is MSF console -h, which stands for the help. You can see all the possible switches for MSF console or Metasploit by this option. Alright, here are all the results and all the console options that you can use it. Plugin and plugins, quiet resources, history file, and the database options that we're going to work about and talk about it. And also the frameworks and modules and command options. And also search here if you don't want to use it on the terminal. Metasploit framework, but click on it. Metasploit will be start to using for you, and you can just easily type it here and be professional and just run from your terminal. I'm gonna wait a few seconds. As you can see, it's running and it's starting the Metasploit framework console. Alright, here we are. Metasploit Park System Security Interface version. You can always check the version. If there is a new version, you can update it. I don't know what is the new version right now that you are watching in this video. So also, here's some cool interface. We don't access main security rate, access permission denied, blah blah blah. So it's a kinda fun interface. You can enjoy it. So you can see the details about the version and exploits that are available in your database. As it's mentioned here, we can update it on many platforms using this command. So let's back and see our command again. As you see in our Kali Linux, in the command line we can see MSF. Then we can type a command after that. By typing the db and nmap-v-s capital V and target IP, you can connect the database and start scanning. From IBM to Google, Nmap is used by individuals and organizations across the globe. Metasploit is also widely used by companies worldwide, notable TriNet, Porter Airlines, and Blackline, to name a few. Also, we have a quick brief providing a new comment that how to connect the database. The DB stands for database for sure, and -S capital V stands for services version detection. At the end, we can execute command in a lab, and how the Nmap analyzes the results. The next video will be Nmap Faraday integration. Good luck. Hello everyone, welcome to another video from section 6. This is the second video from section 6 and we're going to talk about Nmap Faraday. So let's see what is it exactly and what does it work exactly? What is the job of it? So as we know, these days developers have to deal with lots of languages that they don't know for sure. Python, PHP, JavaScript, Java, C#, Ruby. There's lots of undocumented APIs for sure. And this leads us to the fact that many product teams decide not to open our possibility to integrate them. In the Faraday's case, we are aware that integration with other security tools are a critical part of a product. However, we realize that our existing plugins and systems wasn't as easy as we expected to develop some integration. It requires some level of an interactivity, either running a command from a console or importing a report, so it was hard to use and provide a basis. It also forced integration developers to use our Python API, even when there's a tool to integrate with it wasn't programmed in Python, making it harder for developer for sure. So how we should solve this problem? To solve this problem, we decided to implement the agent feature in the already released Faraday version 3.9. Since we expect it to be a core feature of our product and it will be available both in community and commercial version. So let's install it on our Kali Linux. So here we are on Kali Linux and we're going to go through the step-by-step of installing this. First of all, if you do not have your Python 3 on Linux, you need to install Python 3 on your Linux machine. First we need to install Python 3 on Linux, since Python is the main package Faraday depends on. Let's go ahead to install it in case you don't have it. The following step, if you have Ubuntu, you can install it Python 3 with the following command: sudo apt-get update, and then sudo apt-get install Python 3.6 Python 3-pipe-y. If you're using another version of Ubuntu, if you're on another system, you can easily install Python in your system or further versions with the following commands. Then we need to, in step 2, we need to install a PostgreSQL database server. Before we proceed to installing Faraday, let us make sure that PostgreSQL database are installed. You can install PostgreSQL quickly using the first we need to set up the PostgreSQL 13 on Ubuntu and install PostgreSQL 12 on Debian, or how to install PostgreSQL 12 on Ubuntu. So you can use any Linux system or Debian system you have. It doesn't matter. We're using an example here. After the installation is complete, verify the PostgreSQL version is higher or equal than 9.6 by running sudo su-postgres. The next command is psql-c, select your version and Postgres. And this is going to be Postgres version and configure PostgreSQL. Then you open the config file. Remember to specify the right Postgres version by using sudo vim. We can use nano2 and the path of the config. And if you cannot find the config file in the path above, simply locate it as follows. Sudo find /-name the config file name. Once you have opened the file, you need to edit the following links. So authenticating type is set from ident to MD5, as you can see here in the IP over local connection, host all, and from local to the MD5. In step 3, we need to getting the Faraday installation on the Debian Linux Kali CentOS on every Unix system or Debian system we have. Everything should now be ready for Faraday, and we shall not hesitate about downloading and getting this up. Good news is that Faraday developers have provided the Debian package for easy installing through all of the system. First of all, we need to update our system, then we install widget-y, and then, if we don't have it, of course, and then we're using the apt-get and the following link from our GitHub, and go to your download directory and run the following command to set it up. Sudo dpackage-i Faraday-server and the name of the package. If the above command finished successfully, we have to initialize the database with the following command. Sudo Faraday to manage initial database. Once the command completes, it will be given a randomly generated password to get into the web UI as shown. Faraday username and password configuration ready to be pursued remotely. By default, Faraday listens to localhost. With that configuration, you cannot be able to access your application. In case your server is located in a remote location, to change that, open port 5985 and bind address, this part, and all the secret keys and agent token. And our application should be ready and can be started by running sudo system mctl start Faraday server, and this check its status as follows. From this command, you can see the output here, and this is going to be your output exactly like this. In case you have a firewall running, I'll put 5985 on your firewall if it's running. From this command, sudo ufwldo and the specific port on the TCP port. Now open your browser and open it to the IP address and a specific port and log in with the Faraday and username and the password and initial this step. Faraday login page and install Faraday plugins. We need to plug in such as Nmap that we're talking about in this course and the rest of the server to be able to scan clients. Fetch Faraday plugins follows like this. Sudo pip3 install Faraday plugins, and step 3 is getting the Faraday installed on your system if you have CentOS 7 or CentOS 8. Just like in a Debian or a Kali Linux or Ubuntu, before we proceed to installing Faraday, let us make sure Python or Postgres is installed. So this is a very important thing, and don't forget it, please. So it's exactly like the same as before that we have it in the Kali Linux. After configuration, let's start the Faraday server with this command. Now open your browser and again type it, the exact command and exact link that we talk about it. When you install the plugins on Ubuntu, you can see copy a Faraday plugin to the directory to the path, such as like this. And then you can list all the plugins, and you can see all the plugins that you have in Faraday. It's quite nice to work with, right? Thus far, we have installed the server part of the Faraday. It follows the server client's architecture, and it's recommended not to mix the server and the client in the same machine. So if you do want to mix all the things together, I really suggest that if you need to work with Faraday, use another machine, a separate machine for that. For example, like the following command, install the clients, and install the Faraday clients on your client machine, and install the Faraday server on your server machine. First, we introduce the Faraday, and we have a quick brief and a comment install Faraday, and we can how to install it, how to configure it, and we tell you about the server and clients in the Faraday. In the next video, we're gonna be Nmap output types. Good luck. Hello people, welcome back to another video from section 6. In this recording, we are going to talk about Nmap output types. This video will help you during your penetration testing and giving the results and making the results and reports for the company you work for. We are going to pay attention to 3 topics and talk about them. First, what is output in Nmap? And the second one is, which of the following output format is supported by Nmap? And at the end, what are the 5 different output formats available in Nmap? Let's go to our lab and then talk about it. But before that, let's see the next slide. Nmap-O, capital N, and the path for our result output and the targets. Let's go to our lab for more explanation. By default, Nmap displays results as scanned to the terminal, but it's often preferable to save the result to a file for later inspection. This is particularly useful when scanning a large network, as the scan output can span tens of the pages. Some tools even take Nmap scan file as input, which is yet another reason to save the scan result to a file. Nmap can restore the result to its scan in 4 different formats. So we're going to take attention to these formats. This is the same format as what is displayed. This one, Nmap-O capital N, and the file path and the target. The exact command that we show you in the slides. The only difference is that the command line and option are printed at the top of the file as a reminder of what the scan was configured to do, and some runtime warning are monitored. The second one is Grip-Table Nmap output. This format presents a result with the 1 host per line in a consistent fashion. What does that mean? It means to be easily pursued with the Unix text tools such as grep, sed, awk, and diff. There's all the basics commands the Unix and Linux systems. Because of the constants of the nature of these formats, that all the scan output may be preserved this way. Nmap-O capital X, and the path name and the target. So different within this one and the last one is the letter after O, the previous one is capital N, and in this one is capital X. The third one is XML Nmap output. This is actually most of the powerful format, as entire scan results represent in a highly structured XML for every and easy parsing by third-party applications. Unlike the graphical format in the previous one or second one, all scan output is presented in these files. The difference is after the -O, we're going to use capital G and the path name and the target. The script-kiddie Nmap output, I really suggest don't use that. It's for the newbies and the people who just starting using that. If you want to be professional, use the third one or second one or the first one that I introduced to you. But we're going to talk about it. This one is presented solely as a joke, and it's simply the normal output passed through a text mangling filter. It's exactly Nmap-O capital S and path name and the target. These various output formats can be selected with a -O type file name option. The type is a NGX or S for newbies. An additional option is -O capital A base name. Is supported to simultaneously write the scan output in the normal way, and also the XML format and Grip-Table. With this option, the files are named basename.nmap, basename.nmap, and basename.xml or the target.xml. Multiple output formats can be specified using a -O flag as well. For example, to write the output of a scan in a normal and XML format simultaneously, you would like to type Nmap-O capital N this time and a normal output -O capital X and XML output target column or maybe your IP addresses or the path name. So let's test one of these to see how it's exactly works. So we test one of the commands here, and here's the output, and here's the file that made here. So let's see. Here we go. Our result just jumped into the TXT file with an explanation that automated by Nmap. Welcome to the first video of the Section 7 Exploring Graphical Nmap Tools. This video is the first video of the Section 7, and we're going to talk about ZenMap, and we are going to explain to you what is ZenMap exactly. So what is ZenMap and what is it used for? Is ZenMap better than Nmap? We're going to answer all those questions, but before that, let's have a basic introduction to ZenMap. ZenMap is a graphical environment for Nmap. It's actually doing the same way with the same engines that Nmap have. So you can have no idea that how Nmap is bigger, or you have no idea, or you're a beginner to first using of Nmap, so you can use ZenMap for yourself. You can use it in Windows as well too. ZenMap is a graphical way that making the job easy for you if you're a fan of graphical things and you're not a fan of the core and terminal-based or code-based environment, ZenMap is a better choice for you. So how we're going to use it and how we're going to download it from the Nmap main page. Let's see and go through step by step together from downloading, installing, and working with ZenMap. So here we are in the Nmap main website to download the ZenMap. As you can see here. So based on Nmap introduction, ZenMap is the official Nmap Security Engineer GUI that stands for Graphical User Interface. It's a multi-platform for Linux, Windows, Mac OS, and etc. Wow, so you can use it in all platforms you want. Free and open source application which make easy for the beginners to use while providing advanced features for experiencing Nmap users. So as I said, it has all the Nmap's options in the ZenMap too. So you can also save the scans in the profile to make them easy to if you want to run them again. A comment creator allows the interactive creation of Nmap comment lines. The scan result can be saved with add wheel later. Saved scan result can be compared with one another to see how they differ. The result of the recent scans are stored in a searchable database. So we can download ZenMap from here. We're going to scroll down and see all the pages here. It's okay. I'm going to click on the download page. And scroll all the things here. Here's the Nmap downloading page. Click back. Alright. We're going to click on download. I'm going to scroll down again. And we choose our operation system. For example, if you want for Linux, for Mac OS, or for Microsoft Windows. So we worked with Linux too much. Maybe we want to change our appetite. We're going to use it. Nmap setup.exe or exe for Windows binaries. We're going to download it. Now waiting for downloading. And click on install and wait to open. Click on yes. You can see all the agreements here. You can click on agree. And I'm going to check all the things here. I'm going to next. You can choose a path for it. I'm going to click install and wait for the installation to complete. And click on agree. It's better to do this one, structure Nmap npcap drivers access to administration only. I'm going to click install, don't check this one. So I'm going to click install and wait for to install complete. You can show the details to make sure what is happening in your system. Do it always for any program you install. A program with hardware systems or install something that you don't want. So you can see it in the show details in any program you're installing to make sure everything's alright and everything that happen is on your base and your will. So we're gonna wait for install to complete. The install is finished, and we're gonna click next and finish. We're gonna redirect us to another page for a PCAP. Is a packet capture library for Windows that it's used for in the ZenMap. We're gonna click next, next, and finish, and we're gonna wait for ZenMap to open itself automatically. Alright, here's the environment of a ZenMap. As you can see here, we can use our target here. For example, scanme.zenmap.org. And you can see in the profile here, just making customers for yourself, a regular scan. And the comment, and modify your comment here also. It's like what you want exactly, what you want from me, what you want me to do for you. Exactly. So we can use all the comments that we want here. And also there's also services and hosts. So the result will come out here, the ports and the scans. So just gonna run a regular scan here. Let's see. Click yes, I'm waiting for the result. As you can see, it's scanning here. As you can see here, we have the results, same as the terminal, but it's a graphical, it has more customized, and it's a categorized, so make you a good feel. But I really suggest that you use the terminal function because it's more advanced, more professional, and give you more flexibility. Using a GUI of Nmap is good, but for beginners. So, video summary. First, we talk about Zenmap. What is that? What is it doing? Is it better than Nmap? So we tell that Nmap is the Nmap scanner in a GUI way. We download it, we install it, and we run a simple comment on it. The next video will be Armitage, and it will be second video from section 7. Good luck. Here we are with another video from this interesting section, section 7, exploring graphical and map tools. As you know, we are exploring and introduce you all the graphical and important graphical tools that may do or are doing the Nmap jobs and make the job easy for you. So in this video, we're going to talk about very interesting tools called Armitage. This is the second video from section. As always, let's see what we're talking about. What is Armitage? Armitage is a fantastic Java-based GUI front-based for the Metasploit framework developer and developed by Rafal Mach. Thanks to him, it is a goal to help security professionals better understand hacking and help them to realize the power and potential of the Metasploit. So far from here, we know the Armitage is exactly doing for Metasploit, trying to make the job easy for us, for the beginners, and also for the professionals. Further information about this excellent project and how it's made and all the things about creators, you can find it on Offensive Security and Armitage's official website. If you want to talk about what is the difference between Armitage and Metasploit, Armitage, as we know, Metasploit is a terminal-based and command-based environment that you can make exploits and create exploits and get access. And Armitage in this step trying to provide a GUI-based configuration for you to understand better, to understand all the possibilities, all the configs, all the exploits, and try to find the best potential that is right and fit for you. So let's go to our lab and doing step by step together to find out how this is interesting tools are going to work out for us. So here we are in our Kali Linux, our favorite operating system for penetration testing. If you completely install the Kali Linux with all the tools, you can find Armitage here by just searching it. Oops. Alright, Armitage, as you can see here, just searching it with both. And if you don't want to search it and you want to work with your terminal, if you have installed a core version of the Kali Linux, you can just type Armitage in your Kali Linux. It's going to be open. You're going to click on Armitage here and wait for it till open. After you're clicking on it or typing it and hit enter, you're going to see a pop-up window here. It asks you to host, port, and user and pass. Let it be here like this. If you have a specific configuration for your connections, go for it. But if you just it's your first time to using it, leave it that be. We're going to hit enter and connect and click yes and wait for the Armitage to bring it up. You're going to see your progress. That's to find himself, do the progress, and complete the installation and the configuration for the first time if you're using it. If not, you're going to do it all the time for this progress. So take your time. So Armitage is now up. It's going to take it 10 seconds to get up after the process. So as you can see here, on the left hand we have a payload post exploit, and down here we have the command line. On the left side and the right side, we have some graphical tools that we're going to pay attention to it and explain how it's work. So let's explore the tabs here. We have the Armitage. It's called New Connection, Preference, Start, Set a Target View, Graph View, Set Exploit Rank, Set Proxy, Listener Scripts, and the View tab. We have Console, Credential, Download, Job Move, Console, and Reporting. Works for your pen testing if you reporting to the company, to your boss, the senior. And here we have Nmap scan. Wow, okay, that's related to our target. Intention scan and the UDP in all the TCP ports. Ping scan, quick scan. So we're gonna talk about it again. MSF scan and DNS enumeration. Attack, Hail Mary and find attack workplaces, manage show all, and help. So to select the scan we wish to run with Armitage, we expand the module tree and double-click on the scanner we wish to use. In this case, for example, when we click on exploit, as you can see here, we have all the modules here. Wow, that's really organized, so it's going to be really helpful for you. For example, our target is a Windows. I click on Window. We try to find out the specific things that we want. For example, we have proxy, MySQL, LPD, SMB, or SMB. That's very useful when you have a Windows target. Or, for example, we have HTTP here too. For example, if you have a application, web server application that use Apache, you can use all the Apache modules here you have. For example, we're going to click on one of them. Well, you have lhost here, and you have lport here. So you may wonder, what is lhost and lport? If you don't know, it's exactly reported in regard to the Metasploit titles. I'm not going to talk about it very much, but I'm just going to go for overview. I'm going to run an ifconfig. As you can see here, this is our IP address, and this is what exactly talk about lhost. So lhost and lport is talking about our system. When you talk about lhost and ask you to configure the lhost IP address, you're going to share your IP address because it's going to give the value back to your system and on a specific port. And our host is a target for the IP addresses that you want to, attack to it or test it. So we can use a reverse connection, and that's not going to work for us. I'm going to turn the targets into launch. Let's see the other things that we talk about. For example, when we talk about host, the Nmap scan, and we want intense scan. Let's see how it works. Enter scan range. For example, the IP address and Jennifer is gonna do the same IP address here, an example first. Let's see where's the results exactly. We click OK. As you can see, start working. Wow, he just do all the configuration and common for us. So it's really helpful, right? It's gonna really save your time, save your energy, and it's have a good environment actually. You can use it as a professional, you can use it for your daily scanning. You really have a good output here, right? So we wait till scan is finished. The thing is, I'm using a private network, so I may want to run it on our private network. So we do it again, and it is actually this. Okay, I'm just going to run it again. As you can see here. Alright. Waiting for the results. Wow, okay. You can see what hosts are down and what hosts are up, actually. Too many hosts are down, and discover open ports on these targets. Wow. Save our time and our energy, right? These are really good tools that you can really use it, and I really suggest and encourage you to use it, and it's covered all the exploits. And if you interested in Metaxploit, also you can use it as well. It has a good environment, it has a good directory and database for all the operation systems, all the targets, and exploit and payloads. So I encourage you to, keep your hand dirty on it and play it with it exactly as I do here, and discover all the tags. For example, let's run another map attack and see how it's going in that way. For example, I'm going to do insist attack with all TCP ports. Exactly again to my private network, and then hit the enter and OK. I'm going to wait again, and you can see it just customized the comment for us. Well, we had a good result here, and a fast result actually. Armitage made our job easy as a cake. Am I right? Let's have a video summary. First, we introduce you the Armitage and difference between the tools and how it works. We provide the comment and show you how it works, further installations and exploring the titles and the comments and how the database is going to work for us. And we actually execute one comment or two comments in our terminal, actually the Armitage terminal, to see how it works. And actually we have a good results and the satisfaction results that make us happy. The next video is going to be Sparta. Good luck and see you. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this recording we're going to talk about exploring graphical map tools in section 7. This is the last video of the section 7, Sparta. So same as always, let's have an overview on our topic. What is Sparta exactly? The Sparta is a Python GUI or graphical user interface application which simplifies network infrastructure penetration testing by aiding the penetration testers in the scanning and enumeration phase. And also it allows the tester to save time by having the point and click access to his toolkit and by displaying all the tools output in a convenient way, the same as Armitage in the last video, and we see how it saves your time and energy, and it is a very customized and clean and clear application, could be very helpful for you during your process as a professional or as a beginner. If a little time is spent setting up the comments and tools, more times can be spent focusing on analyzing results. Of course, if you spend your all the energy and times to resolve the comments and issuing with a terminal, for sure it's for the professional ways, but also the GUI comes up. Also, when it's come to the Sparta or Armitage, actually, this could be a real professional and save your time. And believe me, you have a resulting and reporting tools that could be very satisfy your supervisor. Despite automation capabilities, the commands and tools are very useful and fully customizable as each tester has its own methods, habits, and preferences. Well, this is all the commands you need to install it and run it. So let's go by step. First, we need to update and install all the requirements for the Sparta from the Python. apt-get update and apt-get install Sparta Python requests. It's going to install all the libraries that you need. And then the next two commands are apt install Python 3 SQL HMI and Python 3 PyQt5. It's going to install and organize your library, and then it's going to be apt-finger in a RSH client X11, and then we can go to the user share by cd and checker path in directory and then git clone our git Sparta from the GitHub. So you can just comments, place the Sparta file in user bin and make it executable and give it permission with chmod that we talked about in previous videos. Type Sparta in terminal to launch the application. Or if you don't do it and you don't put it in the share and user bin, you can go to the desktop Sparta, links master is going to be named like this, and then using the Python Sparta.py and run it. To enjoy all the specific and enjoyable tools and environment that exactly like the Armitage in the previous video to reach your potential and goal in penetration testing. Let's have a review. Sparta is GUI network infrastructure penetration testing tool authored by SecForces and available within Kali Linux. Sparta is a Python-based GUI application, so we know it's based on Python. It is a network infrastructure penetration testing tool which helps the penetration testers in performing scanning and immersion phase. So beware of that. If you do not install Python in your Kali Linux, you cannot run Sparta. The next video will be on first video of the Section 8 NSE Advanced tab. Good luck! Hello everyone and welcome to Section 8 NSE Advanced step. As that obvious, this is the first video of the Section 8 and we're gonna have an overview on working with the brute NSE library. So if you remember, we talk about NSE libraries a lot. If you do not remember it, you may want to take a look at it, practice again, because it's one of the most powerful and handy things that can come to help you in your process. We talk about all the brutes and some of the brutes, commands that we execute them. For example, HTTP brutes, SMP brutes, and some of them. And we showed example in the Kali Linux and we run the commands. In this video, as always, we're going to talk about smbbrute.st. If you're interested in SMB vulnerabilities, you might take a look at the vulnerability that SMB may cause. SMB is one of the most things that you can attack with the Nmap. It's going to be most workful for you and sometimes going to be really helpful for you. Let's test the command as an example and for test, of course. SMB servers for now. Well, here we are again in our favorite operating system Kali Linux. So nmap -s capital U -s capital S and -s script and our NSE script smb-brute.nsa and the target that we're going to use it nmap usual target scanme.nmap.org. We're going to see that at the result here on the service states, but usually we can set a port for it actually -p and SMB port, and it's going to be attacked to the SMB server it's have available. So we know scanme.nmap.org is a sample website for the nmap, and actually we're not going to get a SMB brute force on it, but we can see some servers and states that are open. Well, as you know, this video was a summary and kind of overview to remind you how NSE works. In the previous sections, we talk about NSE a lot, and we're going to talk about it more. Provide a comment for an example to an overview and remind you how it works, and we execute the command in the command line in the terminal. Well, in the next video, we're actually gonna have another video, same as all before. We have NSE sections, writing an NSE script, but this time we're gonna do a little more advanced things. Now we know how the law works, how the NSE works, how we can write a simple NSE. We're gonna have some more advanced feature and add it to it to make sure you're being good at it. Good luck. Hello and welcome back to another video from Section 8 NSE Advanced step from this course. Well, in this video, actually, we're going to talk about a little bit more specific things in IT field, information technology field, and codings. And also, we're going to pay attention to what is debugging, what is troubleshooting, because it's really important if you're doing any field in information technology. If you're a programmer, if you're a security engineer, if you're a network engineer, no matter, it's always going to come to you and it's going to help you or bother you. So let's have an overview from the concepts exactly and what is it exactly. So we're going to pay attention to three subjects. First, what is the steps in the debugging process and what is the best debugging techniques? And how do I debug? Well, a software application these days need to be error-free before going out in the market. For sure, if you want to release them, tools or application, it should have any error in it. It should be completely without any error and errorless to run completely without any glitch or something like that. So customer satisfaction is the most important things in the markets and organizations, or your supervisor satisfaction. And only a bug-free product can keep your customer or your supervisor happy. In this video, I'm going to talk about a little bit debugging and how it's different from software testing. Imagine that the difference between you or a software developer is that when you developing a tool for your company, for example, so your supervisor specifically asks you, or your freelancer and customer specifically asks you to run or create NSD tools or a tool related to the Nmap in Python. So, of course, debugging. It refers to identifying, analyzing, and removing errors. This process begins after the software fails to execute properly and conclude by solving the problem and successfully testing the software. But it is considered to be an extremely complex and tedious task because errors need to be resolved at all the stages of debugging to make sure that you don't have any problem at getting output at the end. So why do we need debugging exactly? The process of debugging begins as soon as the code of the software is written. Then it's continued to successfully stage as its code as combined with other units of the programming or performing a task to form a software product. Debugging has many benefits such as it reports an error condition immediately, resolves the early detection of an error and make the process and software developers stressful and less stressful. It also provides maximum useful information of data structure and always allows easy interpretation. Debugging assists the developers in reducing useless and distracting information. Also, through debugging, developing can avoid complex one-use testing code to save time and also energy in software development. So what is the steps? The different steps involved in the process of debugging are in the following slide. First of all is identify the error to find out what is our problem exactly, which line exactly. Then find error location. At the third level is analyzing the error. Why is it happening and why was it wrong? And then prove the analysis and then cover the relative damage, and at the end of the line we're gonna fix it and make sure it works correctly. So the first step, we have a bad identification of an error can lead to wasted development time. There's usually that production error reported by user and hard to resolve something that information we receive is misleading. So it's very important to identify the actual error because it always could be misleading for you. Trust me, if you do not understand the error, you're gonna be wasting your time the whole day. At the second level, we have find the error location. As the same as the first one, after identifying the error correctly, you need to go through the code and to find the exact line and the spot that you make that error for yourself. And we need to understand why we did it, analyzing it. In the third step, you need to use bottom-up approach from the error location, analyze the code. This helps you to understanding error. Analyzing about has two main goals, such as checking around error for other errors to be found and to make sure about the risk of entering in a critical damage. Then we have an proof analysis. Once you're done, analyze the original bug. You need to find a few more errors that may appear. Always when you're fixing bugs, there's going to be more bugs after that. Trust me about it. And then we have to cover lateral damage. In this stage, you need to create a getter of all unit tests for the code where you're going to make a change. At the end of the level, we're going to fix and validate. The final stage is to fix all the errors and run the test script to check it's going to work or not. So it's very important to study the system in order to understand the system. It helps the debugger to contact different representatives of the systems that are debugged. So there's lots of debugging tools in programming and in computer programming to test their debugs for the other programmers. There are lots of public domain softwares like GDB and DBX that you can use for debugging also. They offer console-based, command line, and interface. And again, it depends on you which one are you more comfortable with. As a previous video or section, we saw ZenMap, that was a graphical, and we saw Nmap, that is command line based on you. So there's a list of the debuggers such as Radar2, WinDbg, or Win, WIN, DBG, or Valgrind. With this, we can have to find our errors of an article in the web. So I hope you understand what is debugging and different stages involved in this program of debugging. Let's have a summary in our video. First of all, we talk about finding bugs, analyzing and understanding why bugs occur, and fixing or removing bugs. Best debugging techniques is a trace-based debugging is traditional and the most common debugging technique used in most debugging tools today. Trace-based debugging is a predicted and concept of the breakpoints. At the end, debug is going through the code flow during the runtime, whereas tracing is giving the details of the execution plan, process timing details. The next video should be first video of section 9, analyzing. Good luck. Welcome to section 9. Hello folks, and welcome back to another section with this interesting course. This course is analyzing, and we're going to talk about analyzing in Nmap. And actually, I believe this section will answer lots of your questions and make lots of things clear for you. So let's head to the target. Well, in this video, in this recording, I'm gonna make something clear for you. So maybe some of you don't understand when you get a result from Nmap and you search the result and some of them are open, closed, filtered. So you might wonder, okay, what is the difference between them? So I'm gonna make these things clear for you to you have a better understanding of the results when you get a result from Nmap when you're doing this counting. So let's go. What is the port status and how do you check a port status? And I'm gonna talk about what is the port status that we have. Several times you might have used Nmap from here for performing network scanning or application attacks or web server attacks to enumeration active port services of a target machine, but in some scenarios you don't get a simple message if a port open or closed. But let's first talk about the simple things. For example, we have an attacker that is our Kelly, and we have a target that could be a Windows, Ubuntu, or another website. So the status of a port are not their essential properties. So it depicts how Nmap sees them, right? In Nmap, a port is divided into 6 states, exactly 6 states. The first one that we know and we love it is open, so that means port is open. These states mean that an application on the target machine is listening for a connection packet on a port. That's good and we love it and we need it. And the second one is closed. This state and this status means the port have no application listening on them. True, they could open up anytime. So the target may not have an SMB servers or I don't know, another service that you want to attack. So it's been closed. We have another status called filtered. This state means that a firewall, filter, or other network obstacle is blocking the port that Nmap cannot dwell whether it's open or closed. So when it faced to the filtered status of a port, we see that they not let us to find out is open or closed. So we get more curious, we do lots of other tricks to find out if it's filtered or not exactly what's happening in the filtering. Is open or closed. The fourth one is unfiltered. Ports are classified as unfiltered when they are responsive to Nmap props. but Nmap cannot determine whether they are open or closed. The next one, the second one that may result to the open or filter is that in this indicate that the port was filtered or open, but Nmap couldn't establish the state. So may sometimes face to this status that open/filtered. Well, that's weird. What does that mean that Nmap couldn't establish in the state? The last one is closed/filtered, same as open/filtered. This indicates that port has filtered or closed, but Nmap cannot establish the state. So in the open ports, in the first one that we talked, that we love it, I said. Of course you do too. In this case, a service application running on a port is actively accepting TCP or UDP connection. We need to send TCP packets to port 18 of a target, for example, and we find that the port is open. For example, let's go check on in a lab and see how the results coming out for us. Alright, here we are in Cal Linux. I'm just going to head to the Nmap and set up, for example, port 18 that stands for HTTP. And, for example, the website is scanme.nmap.org. That's Nmap provided for us to do our penetration testing services and scenarios. So, as you can see here, we have a port 18 here that stands for TCP and state is open. And service is HTTP for sure. And other information that Nmap provides us that this is not necessary in this video. So when you take a look at the settings that we have here, Nmap sends SYN packets on a port 18. We talked about the TCP SYNs before, so if you remember that. And then Nmap receives a SYN ACK packet as a response from port 18, which denotes the port 18 is open. And then Nmap sends RST packets to us. So when we talk about closed ports, let's talk about closed ports and see what happens when we talk about closed ports and how it's going to show us. So, for example, this time I'm going to use it on a IP. Well, this time let's use it on a target in our network on a Windows 10. Okay, there's the IP. Alright, and port 18, same as the last one, and see that is closed. The port, TCP, and the state is closed, and service is to be MAC address. It's on the VMware, for sure. Well, let's talk about it more. Closed ports. In this case, a service or application on a port is accessible, but no application is running on it. When a port is closed, the state sends RST with ACK packets when it receives TCP SYN packets. Same as this comment. Try to scan port 18 for HTTP on a target, but it's closed. Now we have used scan to send TCP SYN packets on a port 18 of a target machine and found that the target is closed. That is because as soon as we receive the TCP SYN packet, it sends back TCP RST ACK packets. So, for example, if you want to do a trace route, it was like this. Nmap sends SYN packets on a port 18. Then Nmap receives RST ACK packet as a response from port 18, which denotes a port 18 is closed. So this was the closed one. Let's go with the filtered one. For example, I'm going to go on for this port and again scan me.nmap.org and wait. As you can see, it's filtered our port, our state, and services. In this case, Nmap is unable to determine whether this port is open because the packet filtering is preventing the packets from reaching the port, or when a packet is dropped, Nmap tries several times just in case the problem has whatever dropped due to the network confusions or rather the filtering by the firewall. Of course, in the biggest scans, in a scan of lots of ports or in a heavy network, and to reduce our time for scanning. So, for example, we can do this time for the IP tables. If you want to use IP table to drive TCP packets on a target machine, this does not include our course, but I'm just a tip. We're going to use IP table. IP table is a firewall for the Linux systems. IP table -i. and we're going to put inputs rule for it and the dash P for the TCP and the dash J to drop it. I'm going to say drop. Okay, that's good. Now when we scan the target machine, the packet will be dropped as soon as it receives the TCP packets. For example, let's try it again. Okay, so when we talk, if you run a Wireshark in your system to analyze the packets for the network administrations, if they know what I'm talking about, when Nmap sent TCP spin package, we got no reply from target machine. This means that package filtered or firewall dropping our packets, but the result will be the same. So see, other logistics for scan and others information that we're not going to use it for this video. So you ask, what about unfiltered ports? The unfiltered states mean that a port is accessible, but Nmap is unable to determine whether it's open or closed. Only the ACID scan, which is used to Nmap to the map firewalls rule sets, classify ports into the states. Scanning unfiltered ports with other scan types such as Windows scan, CNScan, or FINScan, FINScan may help resolve whether the port is open. We use IP tables to drop any TCP packet coming to the port 18 in a target machine. For example, I'm going to use the IP tables again, use a dash I inputs and dash P again for the TCP for sure, and say drop and port, that's 15, and dash J dash and again drop. Gonna drop it. Now when you use Nmap CNScan to scan a target machine to check if there is any firewall or not. For example, I'm going to use nmap -s -p22 and 18 and our network targets. If I'm doing that right, alright. Okay. As we see in a given below comment, port without firewall shows unfiltered as Nmap is unable to determine it's open or closed. So also you can open your Wireshark and see the port 22, we got an RST packet, whereas in case the port 18, the packet is dropped by target machine. So what is open filter ports? In case Nmap is unable to determine if a port open or filtered, as I said, this occurs for scan types in which open ports given no response. The lack of response could also mean that the packet filter dropped the probe of any response is dedicated. So Nmap does not know for sure whether the port is open or being filtered sometimes, but the UDP IP protocols, FIN, null, and XMAS scans that I talked about in previous sections can classify port in this way. So for example, let's run a Nmap scan on a XMAS scan to scan target machine. An Nmap -s X and a port 18 for sure. And the target. Okay. If we use our open ports, okay, it's gonna happen over and over. And for example, sorry, not two slash. Okay. As we configure our IP tables and I talk about open and filters and closed filters status. So let's have a summary on our video. First, we have a quick brief on what's going on exactly, spinning the comments, running the comments in our terminal, talk about status that's Yakra and Facetoids. Most of them are open, closed, and filtered, but in case you face any more of them, now you know what's happening and what's exactly going on, but usually you face it to the opens, closed, and filtered ports. That's now you completely understand of the meaning of them. In the next video, we're going to talk about opening a socket in the second video of the section 9. Good luck! Hello everyone, welcome to another video from section 9, analyzing. In this video, I'm going to talk about opening a socket in a Linux machine in the section 9, video 9.2. So we're going to answer 3 questions and more questions. I also work in a lab and show you the comments. But let's have an overview. A socket in a networking server has a communication endpoints, so it's provide a connection between two entities that wish to communicate with each other or within a network. For example, your Linux and your target, or a Windows in your server or in your network. Sockets are used on a TCP/IP stack transport layer, are used to send and receive the data packets. In this video and in this recording today, we'll explain you today to the different methods of listing down all the open sockets that are listening on the Linux or your machine. So there are several methods that we're going to tell you. Two of them that usually works and are better than other ones. So for listing all the open sockets in your machine, we can follow two methods. The first one is listing all the open socket listening on a Linux machine with the SS utility. So if you want to list down all the ports and all the sockets listening on the Linux or any machine you're using, any OS you're using, that's based on your decision. We are using Kali Linux here, regardless of which internet protocol they're using. So then you can need or execute the commands that I'm going to tell you in the next slide. So let's go to our lab. Well, the first command that I'm going to use, as I said, SS and -L. I click enter and we can see the result here. Very well. Also, you can hear the address and the port, kernel, and all the usages, and receive queue, the process. Here is path. You can see all the information. For example, some of them are listening. Usually they're using it. So, well, I'm going to kill the page and go into the second method that we're going to use. If you want to list down all the open TCP sockets listening on a Linux in your machine, then you need to execute this command I'm going to show you. You can use cat or more or less command. So I'm just going to use more cat for now. It's going to be a pros and net and then TCP, for example. All right, here is it. If you want to see it another way, you can also use nano or any editor that you want. Here is it. Also, let's click the page again. This command will show down all the OpenTCP sockets that are listening on Linux. So in the next one, we're going to show you how to see the UDP actually. So it's exactly the same one as this one, just change the TCP to UDP. Here is it. We can use the cat command as well. Here we are. Here is the result. So in this video, we showed three methods that's listing all the down open sockets listening on Linux. So the first method showed all the listening sockets regardless of the internet protocol they are following, and the other two on the TCP and UDP protocols. So, but we have another subject to pay attention to it. There's some other comments that you want to know. SS-S, as you can see here, gonna give you a summary of the ports and sockets that are open. We have INET 2 total and 1 IP and 1 IPv6. That's mean IP106. So I told you about SSS-L. The sample output should be display all the ports and all the open network ports with the SSS command on Linux. We have another command, SSS-DL. To see process named, we're going to click on it. Well, we have the process name here. If you want to organize it, you can use a grep command. But for now, we're just going to pass it. So now let's use it. Okay. So if you want to, who's responsible to opening sockets for example, port 4949 using the SS command, you can see like this one, -LP. I'm going to use a command grep. It's a Linux basic grep command. We talked about it before. All right, we don't have it, so let's another port maybe. Let's we have it, yeah. All right, here is the results. Alright, we have another thing. We can use go to the price and for example another okay, let's first go to the directory MLS. Okay, these are the ports that we have. For example, we're going to the 11 ls, okay, ls-l. So you can get more information about a process like memory, users, and use and current working directory. So you can visit this directory that I go into the path here, as you can see. All right, I'm going to back to the main page. So what's happening if you want to, again, see all the TCP sockets without using the more command that I told you before, or a cat, and to see the directories, I'm going to use SS again and -t -a. Here we are. So if you want to display all the UDP sockets, just going to change it to DDU. From T to U, here we are. And here are the operators and the ports, your boot PC. And if you want to display all the Unix sockets, you're going to use this one. Use X. Here we are. Let's have a video summary. First, we have an introduction and a quick brief on sockets and what is it and why we need it. So how we check it all. What's actually how it works for your security, for your analyzing. We explained the comments and we saw the comments works in our terminal. The next video, we're going to talk about implementing the driver class. Good luck. Hello folks, welcome to section 10, vulnerability audits. In this video, that is first video of section 10, I'm going to talk about tracing the packets. And actually it's a very good topic and it's going to be very helpful for you in your tests, in your work, and actually maybe personal training. We have two questions here that I may want to face in your mind. How do we trace packets? And actually, why we need it exactly? So, tracing the packet is one of the most things in the security words. Because, for example, we talk about Nmap a lot because this is the main things that we teaching in this course. So when we're using Nmap, we're tracing and trading, sending, getting the packets. We get information via the packet. We send our commands, trying to execute them, and then they send packets to the target. If you remember in the previous sections, sometimes we face the firewall of the website. We switch to try to, get over the firewall, or sometimes we use the ping scanning that we do not to trace any, leave any trace. So why? This is exactly what I'm talking about. The packets. Packets are important in the security world, and it's all about the packets. So how do we trace the packets? There is a very good application, Wireshark, that's used for monitoring or monitoring every package that comes to your servers or personal devices. And there's also lots of the monitorings and networking monitoring tools that you can use. But we're going to use Wireshark. It's one of them famous one. So it's actually easy to use and rather user friendly. And we're going to start with that one, trying to how to download it. Installation is easy, and how to use it actually is the most important thing. It's really actually good and helpful application to use. So let's go to the scenarios, and I'm going to show you how it works. In that case, again, you'll understand better. Let's go to our lab. But this time, I'm coming to our Windows machine, to change the environment. Actually, you can install it on your Linux and your Windows machine, anything you want. It's available for both of them. So here's the Wireshark, something like this. And if you want to know how to download it, just let me show you how to download it exactly. If we're going to the Wireshark, there's a Wireshark. There is a website. Go deep Wireshark, and here's a Wikipedia of it. So as we know, far from here, Wireshark is free open source and actually it's free, so you shouldn't pay for it, to analyze the packets and the data in the network. Alright, so you can see, you hit the download button and it's going to start downloading. So I already installed, downloaded, so I'm just going to hit the start, click on it. You also Nmap Zenmap here. They will introduce you later. Previous video, sorry. So when we click on it, it's trying to, loading the stuffs. And then when it's loading, it's going to show you few interfaces. So you may wonder, okay, which one should I choose and what is it exactly? So we introduced ipconfig. That's our common before. So we know that our network adapter is Ethernet 0 or ETH 0. So when we come to our Wireshark and ask us which one do you want to choose? Here's us, Ethernet 0. I'm going to click on it and wait to Wireshark load the packets. So as you can see, start analyzing the packets that are in our network. See, wow. So let's explain step by step. First, we have a time here. This is not very important, but it's good to know. We have the source here, and we have the destination. What is it exactly? Source is the place that packets sent by, and destination is the place that you receive it. So sometimes it's your machine, or sometimes it's your target, or some website, or some other devices in the network. So as you can see here, we have the source and destination with the IP addresses here. So what is our IP address? Let's see. This is our IP address. 205 30. Okay, this is our IP address. So, and this is the destination. Sometimes we were the destination and someone sent us some packets. So another thing here we have is a protocol. It's very important. So we can see which protocol and how it's used, and via which protocol we receive the packet or send a packet. Sometimes TCP, sometimes we have DNS. See, we have sometimes DNS. As you can see here, it's completely obvious that it's a network. The IP addresses are in the same network, so it's using DNS server. This is my default or manual configuration. So we have the DNS package here, and then we have something called length. That is that certain package. I'm going to talk about it later. I want to give you an example. And we have the info of the package. See, each package, of course, have an info, and it has somewhere around here. And we can see that, okay, we have an ACK packet here, we have a SYN-ACK packet here, we have something like, all right, VMware try to broadcast and tell who was this IP and tell to the router. See, this is our router IP address we get from IP, and this is all the things that happen in our network. But let's go for an example. Look, there is a little box here that you can filter your analyze our results. For example, you can type HTTP. Hit enter. Okay, we don't have HTTP packets yet. That's great. So I just wanted to show you some example. For example, that's something that we usually face with. Let me clear the page of assembly. Okay. So I'm gonna ping a website here. Ping. But before that, as we know, ICMP protocol is for the ping. So I'm gonna hit the ICMP filter and hit the filters. So wait for the result here. I'm gonna repeat EC Council website, for example, council.org. All right, waiting for the results. See, as soon as possible that we get a result in the CMD or command prompt, we had the result in the Wireshark as well. So let's check out. We have the source here, which is our IP address, and we have destination, which is the EC Council website IP address. It sends some packet into it, an echo ping request, and then it's back to us. We reply that yes, we have the connection, and here's your packet, as you can see here. Real interesting, right? So let's talk about the length. If you click on each packet here, you can see some information about it. For example, in a frame, we have some information on it. Interfaces ID. Then we have arrival time, we have encode time, and we have frame number, frame length. So, about the frame length. Sometimes we have something like pinging something, or I don't know, anything that could be possible, something like this. We have something length that tells us how big is the packet. So as you can see, it's 74 bytes, so it's actually nothing compared to other packets. So we can see here it's not something big deal, but sometimes we face to a large bytes that we then find out here when we say that, oh, this is a large packet, and then you may want to be suspicious of that packet. Try to stop it, try to find out, is it a trustable source? Am I knowing it's happening or not? Could be malicious packets that's sent into your computer, or someone trying to attacking your computer or server, actually, or network. Let's close it. Let's go to the next option. We have Ethernet, and SRC that stands for source, to VMware, and the destination. The third one, we have the version 4, IP version 4, and the header length, and all the information about the packets. So kind of in a binary, as you can see, it's kind of encryption for the packets. And we have the protocol here for sure, and source and IP address. And we have an Enter to Control message protocol. We have identifier, the TTL that we have here. That's time to leave. It's time for time to leave. And we have the data. Well, this was from each packets. So let's check out the options. We have something like file here. The same as the other applications, edit, open, save. If you click this button, it's going to stop it working, and you have control and have time to analyze it without having new packets here, having new results here. We have an edit option. We can use a find packet with a control F actually, and trying to find a specific packet you want. Then, of course, we have something like find next, find previous, ignore some packets if you want. You can just, for example, if you want to have a organize Wireshark for your network, you can, ignore the ICP packets. Doesn't show you, or some packets that have a little small length that doesn't important for you. In the Go on the wheel, we have the wheel to what you want to see exactly here. We have in the go to packets. Actually, we have something important here, the capture. If you click on a capture filter, you can see some captures here. That's very important for us. You can add or delete any filter you want. For example, as I said, some filters or some packets doesn't really important for you. You want a more organized Wireshark. You don't want to deal with the lots of packets each time, each second that come into your network and try to handle them. It's crazy. So for having better experience with that, you may want to filter your Wireshark to have a better experience. Promise me. You're gonna do that. We have analyze. You can analyze each filter here or decode it, and actually follow some packets here. We have statics. We have wireless, we have tools, and that's all. So we don't want to get into it a lot because this is not exactly our topic, but it's very important to know what's happening in the IT world when sending packets, trying to find information from a website, trying to get information from it. This is actually what's happening. Now we know what's happening in the packets. I maybe should tell that sooner, but actually it's good to know now, because sometimes it may be confusion that some people doesn't know what are they doing exactly. So let's get back to the slides. Alright, so we have a quick brief on the packets, why we need it, how we're going to do that, explain the tools, explore some comments here, and tell you how it works with it, and actually we see a little bit scenario and explain how you find out which protocol and which packet you're going to use for it, and how to analyze the packets. Next video, I'm going to talk about what are the firewall or IDSs. It's really actually important because we talk about how to, when we face the firewalls in our Nmap. So actually, it's good to know what is firewall IDS, how it's gonna work exactly in a network or a website. So see you and good luck. Hello again, folks. Welcome to another video from Section 10. In this video, as I told you in the last video, I'm going to talk about what are firewalls and IDSs. So we're going to have an overview to what is actually firewall and what we're talking about when we saying that Nmap face the firewall or something like that. And also, I'm just gonna have a tip on overview on IDSs and IPSs to have an overview and have a good knowledge about deep security in that. So exactly what is that? And we're gonna answer some questions in that for sure. So a very common query asked by network security administrator is that what is the difference between a firewall, IPS, and IDS? So I'm going to first talk about that, and then show some example, maybe in locale Linux. So all the three terms related to providing security to network and are considered essential component of network security, especially in a data center networks and a big data servers and actually any company. So the main difference being that firewall platform actions such as blocking and filtering of traffic, while an IPS or IDS detects and alerts the system administrator or prevent attack as peer configuration. So you may find, the usual firewall in your Windows machine. As Windows Defender, we have Windows Defender as a, your antivirus, but you have a firewall in a Windows that's control the output and inbound and outbound in the network. So that's a very basic firewall. So a firewall allows traffic based on a set of the rules configured, and it relies on a source, so the destination addresses and the ports that set us to a firewall who can deny any traffic that does not meet any specific set area. But on the other hand, IDS is a passive device which watch packets that we talked about last video, packets of data transferring the network, comparing the signatures, patterns, and setting up an alarm on a detection on suspicious activities. And on the other hand, we have IPS, that is an active device working in line mode and prevent attack by blocking it. So let's say we have some difference between them. So for example, a firewall is a network security device that filters incoming and outgoing networks traffic based on a parameterized rules. But or IDS and IPS. So maybe you want to know that IDS is based and stands for Institution Detection System. It's a device or a software application that monitors the traffic for malicious activities or policy violation and sends alert on detection. Firewall filters traffic based on IP address and port numbers. But the principle of working in IDS is it detects real-time traffic and looks for traffic patterns and signatures and attack them generation alerts. So how about the configuration mode? The firewall is in a layer 3 mode or transparent mode, but the IDS is in line or as the end host with span for monitoring and detection. Action on authorized traffic detection by a firewall is a blocked traffic, but in IDS is alert or alarm on a detection of anomaly. So, of course, based on the description that I gave you, it's very important that if you have a network security or if you have any servers, it's very important to use IDS and IPS in your systems and your server for sure, beside a firewall. Firewall is just the basic things that try to block the traffic. It's not gonna always be helpful for you. For example, as we saw in our previous sections, we always provide a solution to how to get over the firewalls, try to get a result at the end. Let's see some examples. So this is exactly how it works. We have the switches here and a router and a firewall here and IPS or IDS here. For example, if there's an internet here and there's a router here that connects us to our switches. We have firewall between a switch and a router here, and then IDS, that software could be a hardware connected us to our switches and try to detect any malicious activities, and then our clients. On the other hand, we have IPS then, exactly like IDS, but it will be placed between the switches and the firewall. Let's see our firewall in a Windows. It's a very basic firewall. But when you type firewall, you can see here that Windows Defender Firewall. Click on it and wait till it's open. So when you go to the security and maintenance or network and sharing centers, or you can turn Windows Defender on or off. That need the permission activities for administrator, so you can run it again with the run as administration with advanced securities. Gonna click yes. Alright, then we're gonna wait for it to open. There we go. So this is our panel. We have inbound rules and outbound rules all set. So for example, you can set the rules for yourself in your firewall as you may want to, but it also have some default rules. For example, in inbound rules, we have so many default rules here. For example, for any application we have, there's some rules. For example, for NDS application that is a remote management, we have a profile as a private networks that allow and enable the action is allow for the AnyDesk, and this is the path of the program, and this is a protocol that's on a UDP, and any port is any, and remote port any. So we can see that inbound rule here to send a connection to the out, and inbound and outbound is approved by our firewall. So also you can deny or block any connection as you want. For example, in inbound rule, you try to give permissions, approve or deny any connection that sends information to the outside of the network, and the outbound rules try to block or confirm any information that comes to your network by outside of the network. So for example, in inbound rules, you can create a new rule here, as you can see. When you click on it, you can choose your type of rule here. For example, you want to give any program a specific order. For example, you're going to click next and clear your program, or maybe all program. For example, if you want to, private network, or maybe you can choose any port you want. Click next. I'm going to click all the remote ports on the TCP or the UDP, and I want to block the connection or allow the connection, or allow the connection if it's secure. So if you want to deny every connection remote based upon your UDP port and deny it to your server, you can just click block on the connection and click next, and it's done. So for example, this was how we work in Windows machines. We can see also how it works in the Kali Linux in the following videos. So we have a quick brief on it, how it works, what is it, and actually we saw how firewall works exactly and the logic behind it. In the next video, I'm going to talk about vulnerability scanning and try to give you some tips about it. Good luck. Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Section 10, Vulnerability Audits. In this video, I'm going to go an overview on vulnerability scanning and talk about how it works exactly, why we need it, and what are the benefits of it, and some other tools that we can work on exactly to do the vulnerability scanning. So we can ask and answer a few questions. So what is the vulnerability scanning used for? And for example, or more important than that, what is the vulnerability scanning? So a vulnerability scanning assists of possible security vulnerabilities in computers, networks, internal and external servers, and communication equipment that cyber criminals can exploit. So anything that could be hacked, vulnerability scan can assist of possible security vulnerabilities in that. So it's automated activity that scans in structure targets such as an IP addresses for known vulnerabilities and misconfigurations for sure, or misfiles, or anything that could lead us to dangerous activities from malicious activities. So the result vulnerabilities and the resulting of that assessment reports will help you to properly identify the security weakness that need to be resolved in your computer, in your server, or in your network. So what is vulnerability scanning used for? Vulnerability scanning is an essential part of mitigation for your organization's security risk. by using a vulnerability scanner to identify the points of the weakness in your system. So you can reduce the attack surface that criminals or hackers might exploit, focusing your security efforts on the areas that are the most likely to be targeted. For example, the services that we talk about a lot in Nmap scanning, the SMB servers, the Active Directories. So vulnerability scans can also help to routinely audit IP address range to see if unauthorized services are being exposed or whatever any IP addresses are being used. So for example, imagine that in your server we have lots of IPs in your company. So when you find out one of the IPs in your server using unnecessary and unauthorized services, that's where you found out, okay, something is not right here. I need to stop that. So how vulnerability scanning and testing exactly work? There are two main types of vulnerability scanning. The first one is authentication scans will find weaknesses in your security perimeter. But the second one, authenticated scans use privileged credentials to go further and deeper in your systems and server, finding security weaknesses and misconfigurations in your internal network. So whichever type you choose for vulnerability testing, you will use references database of known flaws, coding bugs, any OWASP available, or any type of vulnerability that available in exploitations, or configuration and errors and potential routes into a corporate networks that attackers can exploit for sure. And these databases are updated continually, so it is very important to use and update vulnerability testing tools because database getting updated every day, and we have lots of updates every day. We have lots of exploits that's coming up every minute, so it's very important to be an update in this field. So I hope you know that, because one of the most important things, if you want to save your job, maybe in a company, you should be updated. So why is exactly important for us? Vulnerabilities and widespread across organizations of all sizes. New ones are discovered constantly or can be introduced as a result of the system changes. Hackers, criminals, and anyone who want to harm your systems use automated tools to identify and exploit known vulnerabilities and access unsecure systems, network, or data, or some of them with a professional trying to use it handy, try to find skill injections, try to find excessive vulnerabilities in your website. So by having that acknowledge that you have these vulnerabilities in your web servers, in your network, in your computer, you can try to stop them and stop getting hacked by them and stop getting information to the outside world. Exploiting the vulnerabilities with automated tools is simple. For example, attacking are cheap, easy to run, and next, click on next. So every internet-facing organization is at risk. See? So, for example, anyone that have experience with hacking with a Kali Linux, try to have knowledge in the vulnerabilities, trying to go in, can attack your servers, attack your web servers easily. All it takes is one vulnerability for attacker or hacker to access your network, access your servers, and access your data. So this is why applying patches to fix these security vulnerabilities is essential. If you don't update your software, firmware, and operation system to the latest version that they have released from that, the vulnerabilities in your system will remain exploitable and leave your organization at risk. Worse than that, in a worst-case scenario, as your engineer, you should always have a worst-case scenario. The vast majority of instructions that are not discovered until it's far too late. So, for example, if you have firearm mandates, trend reports, and if you search for that, you can see how many global median dwell time between the start of the cyber instruction and in the identification to in the 56 days. So when they hacked, after 56 days, they find out, oh my god, we just get hacked. Okay, this is something that we call trouble and call disaster in a cybersecurity in a company. So automated vulnerability scanning tools scan for open ports and detect common services running off the ports. Something like we did on Nmap. They identify any configuration issues or other vulnerabilities on those services and look at whatever best practices being followed, such as the use of the TLS version 1.2 or higher and stronger ciphers. A vulnerability scanner reporter is the generator to highlight the item that you have identified. So, for example, when you're working in a company, your manager asks you to give a report about the status of the cybersecurity or the vulnerability that we have now, or something like overall scanning. So you should know how to generate a report, what is the reporting, what's important things that you should mention in the report. By acting on these findings, an organization can improve its security purchase. So who conducts a vulnerability scanning exactly? IT department usually undertake vulnerability scanning if they have the expertise and software to do so, or they can call on third-party security services provider like IT governance. IT governance scan are conducted on target that the client are necessary permission to have scanned, and the users of the services are required to confirm that they have these permissions. Vulnerability scans are also performed by attackers who spur the network and internet to find the points of entry into the system and networks. So, for example, we have bug bounties that they get paid to if they find anything. We have the IT security department in each network. We have third parties teams. So we have a good question here that says, how often should you conduct a vulnerability scanning? So this is very important. Based on everything we said, how often should we try to provide and perform such a scan, trying to find out when we start exactly and where we stand in the cybersecurity world. So vulnerability scanning needs to be conducted regularly to ensure that new vulnerabilities are identified as soon as they become common knowledge and that appropriate remedial action are taken, such as applying the necessary patches to the fix cyber vulnerabilities. Frequent security scanning can show where exposed services are on patch and vulnerability to explosions, allowing IT team or security team to take the switch remedial actions. Also, you should have a vulnerability management program. This should include the scanning at least monthly, once a month, and annual penetration testing, as well as when you make changes to your system. And actually, it's based on how important data do you have, how business you run. For example, if you run a big data things that's conclude lots of user data, you should do it 2 weeks. 1 day in 2 weeks, or try to monthly, twice in a monthly, because it's very important to you, because you have the users data, users information, and actually you're responsible for that. So this will help identify your security weaknesses and extent to which are you, and how you're going to be attacked, or are you exposed to be attacked, or are you vulnerable to the cybersecurity or not. So when you ask what is the difference between the vulnerability scanning and penetration testing, when we're saying that you should have them, for example, once a month and another once a month again. So vulnerability scanning is an automated process that identifies your cybersecurity weaknesses. But penetration testing goes one step further. It involves the professional ethical hackers combining the result of the automation scans with their expertise to reveal vulnerabilities that may not be identified by scan alone. Pen testers will also take your environment into account, a significant factor in determining vulnerabilities through severity, upgrading or downgrading the score as appropriate. We have 3 types of them. For example, we have white box, we have black box, and we have gray box. They can also identify the false positive, where scans have identified a weakness that do not exist. So be aware of that. Sometimes you find a vulnerability, try to report it, but actually it's a false positive. To ensure that you do not waste resources securing parts of your structure that are not safe from attack. So, as we are in a coronavirus world and in this era, we need to work remotely. So, how vulnerability scanning and remote working? Identify and mitigation security vulnerability is especially important when staff work from home. For instance, when you connect to the internet via home network, security features that you usually take for granted in the office, such as filtering, firewalls, and encryption, might not be available. And when staff use their own equipment, known as BOD or bring your own devices, to connect to the corporation network, you will have less control over the configuration of their security setting for sure. Keeping your VPN from the company software up to date is also essential to ensure that staff have a secure remote access to a corporate system. So may you don't have a company or not working in a company, And you may ask, can vulnerability scanning help identify vulnerabilities on my website, personal website? And answer is yes, for sure. We have some websites that ethical hackers try to face or hack the website and expose the information, try to make the resume for themselves, trying to make flags for themselves. So may your website be one of the targets. So if you care about your business, personal information, you may want to do that because it's very important to keep your data safe. And actually, we are going to make the world and cybersecurity and internet actually safer. Before heading up to Kali Linux, let's share some good vulnerability scanner tools that you can use. So let's check their website. The first one is Connex. This tool actually could perform a good vulnerability scanning for you, and you can actually get a demo from them. Find what other scanners can do. Let's see how Connex tried to promote himself. They take over 7,000 vulnerabilities, including skill injection, XSS misconfiguration, weak password, exposed database, and out of band vulnerabilities. Here's the environment will look like. We have advanced mark recording, scan all pages, web pages. So, as you can see here, Connex is one of the good ones. I used it before. It's good. Sometimes it gives you a false positive, but actually it's try to its best. The next one is actually very famous, is ASUS. So we can go to the website. Here is it. It's enabled, and the product is an ASUS. So we can actually have a free download here. Let's try to give you some scan 16 IPs. That's the demo one. But actually you can buy one for your personal use or business use. This is a very good one. I used it before. It's very trustful, and I can't tell you how much is good exactly, so you can use it or use a free demo. We have another Spark. Okay. Here's it. Another Spark. This one is actually not bad. I tried before. So if you want to rate it, this is the first one that I use, and the QNX is the second one, and this one is going to be the third one maybe. You can get a demo also here. This wasn't the one that you're looking for. You can get a demo here. Exactly the same output like Connex. So automated security through your CDLC, try to promote themselves, and all the features that it's gonna give you, and useful. So maybe you want to decide with a price and your actions, which one is the best for you. So let's go to Kali Linux. Alright, we are in Kali Linux. So in Kali Linux, actually we have one topic that says vulnerability analyzing that try to give you some good features about that. We have vulnerability analysis and we have web application analysis. So when you click on it, vulnerability analysis, we have actually few of vulnerability scannings. For example, we have Nmap that we work for, and we have Nikto. Let's click on Nikto. Let's see what's happened next. Okay. Here's a Nikto configuration. So first you can configure your configuration file as you may want to, the formats, plugins, and the routes, everything that you need to. We have also, for example, in a web application analysis or vulnerability analysis, we have Nikto, we have a map that we use to work with it. We have OpenWASP that is also a good one that you can work with it. So we can first initial setup and then start it and start working on it. Also, we have some good tools in web application analysis, such as Birdforce, that is very useful. That's also have lots of things in it when you require the separate course for it. We have a school map that's also very good. We have a PSScan that is useful for the WordPress websites. We have Zap, we have WebScrap, So we have good tools actually in the Kali Linux as well, so you can scroll them and work with them, try to see the help desk on that, or try to use a man command to find out how it's worked exactly. First, we have a quick brief on what we're telling here and what we're going to do, and try to explain about vulnerability analysis and vulnerability testing. Try to see the difference between penetration testing and vulnerability assessments. Also, introduce some tools to you to upgrade, improve your knowledge. Try to engage yourself with the more important tools as well. The next video we're going to talk about exploiting real VNC. Good luck. Hello everyone, and here we are again with another video from section 10, Vulnerability Audit. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about exploiting real VNC. And actually, the reason I'm recording this video is that I'm going to show you two very useful and important websites that we're going to talk about it. I'm going to answer some questions, and then we're going to talk about our websites and why we're recording this video. So let's go. Well, here we are. We have two websites here in our Chrome. The first one is rapid7.com, and the other one is exploit-db.com. First, let's go to the real VNC authentication and talk about it and see what information we have here and why these websites are useful to us. So, we can see the disclosed and created of this authentication mode bypass. Description: this module exploits an authentication bypass vulnerability in real VNC server version 4.1.0 and 4.1.1. It says a proxy listener, an L port and proxies to target server, and auto VNC options require that the VNC viewer be installed on the attacking machine. We can see the other here and developer. So, display the available options, load the module within the Metasploit console, and run the command shown option for sure in advance. So if you remember that, when we talk about Metasploit, when we run the Metasploit, we have some command like this, MSF, and that stands for Metasploit console. That's use this command, and if you want to use this exploit in the Metasploit, you should run this command, and then show actions, set actions, show options, then set a port and lhost, and run. But as you can see, we have some comments and description about what we have here. So that's kind of interesting. So what is this website exactly? You may wonder. Let's go to the main page. Rapid7. And if you scroll down here, click on Vulnerability and Exploit Database, you have a variety of exploits and updated exploits that you can see and use them actually on your target. So imagine that you're using Nmap to scan your host, and then you find out that your host has some vulnerability that's not patched. So when you come here and you search for the vulnerability or related vulnerabilities, you can find it and use it on target. That's interesting, right? And you can see here we have a Firefox security updates. That was a new patch. And we have all the CVs here. Let's go to the next website, exploit-db. That's very, very important. So we have the same thing here, but this time we have all the code in one. You can download the exploit. And here's information about it. So this website, for example, when you click on exploits, have exactly the same thing. We have lots of exploits here that you can explore and try to see, find your own exploit they're going to use for it. And here's the modules and platforms and types. For example, web apps, locals, we have PHP hardware, we have Windows, so we have some can enable patch here, vulnerabilities here for exploiting. So we can find your platform if you want to, using Windows, for example, you can filter it here, or you can use it in return on platform if you want to find any exploit from Android or anything else. You can just scroll down here for Windows, Python tree. If you want to find exploits for Python tree, actually it's a good option. Let's see what we have here. We have some interesting Kali all new for example, we have training here. Then we can scroll down again and see, okay, what we have for Windows. Wow, okay, we have a lot of it. Actually, we have some goods. We have RCE, that stands for Remote Code Execution. This is one of the most important things in OWASP Top 10 that you can use for testing your target. So, as you can see here, we have really good things here. They can use it on your targets because most of them are updated, as you can see, the dates. So that means sometimes, not sometimes, the people doesn't care about the updates and security patches. So if you have the ability to scan, try to scan it and try to penetration test it and try to use it in your own purposes, it could be very helpful. And actually, it's very good for penetration testings and ethical hacking in companies because some system administrations doesn't care about their system updates. So very, very be aware of that. If you are one of them, do not continue that. Try to always check the patches. Try to always have a security vulnerabilities yourself and try to check all of them. Let's see other options here. We have shortcuts. That's also the good things. You can just explore more about it here. For example, we have something here. Windows reverse TCP. All right. Okay. Here's the code. Here are the descriptions that we have. And actually, it's a very good thing. Over here, the code, char code, using for penetration testing is very important. You can get access with that. And yeah, that's it. We have a quick brief on why this website is very important. I'm trying to show you one example on a real VNC, and show you the commands and how to execute it in a terminal. The next video, we're going to be talking about detecting vulnerability and vulnerable Windows systems that we're going to use commands in our Kali Linux. Good luck. Alright folks, welcome back to another video from section 10 vulnerability audits. In this video, as you can see, we're going to talk about detecting vulnerable Windows systems in the section 10, and the last video actually from section 10, this is video 10.5. So as always, we're going to answer some questions talking about the Windows vulnerabilities. And it's actually one example from it because in the previous videos we talked about scanners, and actually I'm going to show you one of them that I have. And actually talk about Windows vulnerabilities, famous things, and try to have an overview on it. Let's go. Alright, this is the Sparker. So as I mentioned in the previous video, you can use any vulnerability scanner you want based on your will. You can just try to find area that you like, and this is your decision. So I'm using this one now, so for example, to see how it works. So this is kind of like this environments. All of them have the same things here. When you click on a new, I'm gonna give a new address to scan, and you click on start scanning, waiting to retrieval, allocated. Make sure that the website that you're trying to analyze it is gonna have some lag. So make sure that you do ethical hacking or ethical penetration testing or analyzing, because the owner can sue you for analyzing the websites if it's harmed the files and the website actually. So when it's start scanning, we'll wait for the packets. Okay, let's start sending packets. We're gonna give it some time, so it's taking a lot of time. As you can see here, it's trying to crawl on the website first. Now we have some directory from the website, and it's trying to using a get method against the target and permits and current activities, trying to get a lot of information from it, try to understand what's happening in the web, attacking the directories. And here, if you find anything, so let's take a look here. Here we can choose security test that we want. Let's try to analyze the most famous vulnerabilities that could be available on the website. Here's details from directory of the targets. Each directory we can see the website map here. And here's something like we call it now vulnerability. It doesn't really count. So you can see the details. If you find anything, it's gonna show as a red flag, and you're gonna be vulnerability details, impact, and remedy, and the classification, and the URL and expected version. So you have a reporting tool as well. All of the scanners have it. You can report and make a report actually by click on it, and actually you should customize your report for sure for your employee or your supervisor. But for now, let's talk a bit about the top 10 Windows 10 vulnerabilities. So the first one is at the end, so I'm just gonna start with the number 10 and go down. Is Windows 10 Mouse Manager vulnerability. It's called a CVE 2015, and you can see the serial. If you type it into Google, you can see it in exploit websites. This vulnerability involves potential escalation by privilege by inserting a USB device into a target system. Through this method, an attacker could write a malicious binary to disk and execute this code. So an update is available now, so you can just search for the CVE. Probably you're gonna have the update if you keep yourself up to date every time. As I said, very important. Next one is Microsoft Edge vulnerabilities. The Edge browser's executed Internet Explorer was not the highest rated in the term of the security, for sure. We know that. We're not gonna judge that, but we know that true. To say the least, and Edge seems to be also getting off a rough start security-wise, and various remote code execution vulnerabilities and security feature bypass exploiting can allow the attackers to gain control over a system. More information and patching instructions are available in this link. I'm going to put this on the PDF as well. Microsoft Graphics Component Vulnerabilities is a grouping of vulnerabilities related to the various fonts and graphic on memory. Just to mention it again, if you search it, you can see all the details about it and even an exploit if you want to practice for it. Management flaws that could ultimately result in a remote code execution if visiting an untrusted website with embedded fonts. Detailed patching confirmation can be had on the item's security bulletin. Number 7 is Internet Explorer vulnerabilities. Again, the Microsoft famous malware in the web browser has a slew of new vulnerabilities with the Windows 10. The most serious of them is allowing an attacker to gain a system right of the user. Clear, right? More information and patching details also available on a Microsoft website. Microsoft Windows Journal vulnerability, and again a serial. This vulnerability could allow remote code execution to occur if user open a specially crafted journal file. The number 5 is redirect to SMB vulnerabilities. Actually, the SMB vulnerabilities, lots of vulnerabilities. You can just search for it and see a lot of them. Another point is this vulnerability does not mean the last of vulnerabilities. This means the biggest vulnerability just released during these years. Of course, there's a lot of vulnerabilities for Windows in the 2019 or 2020. You can just search for it. Net framework resolution of privilege vulnerabilities. Custom craft .NET application can cause escalation after a privilege exploit to occur. However, users must be first convinced or tricked, like social engineering, into running the said application. Microsoft font driver vulnerabilities. Windows Adobe Type Manager improperly handles specially crafted OpenType fonts, which can easily result in remote code execution vulnerabilities if you work with Adobe. You can understand what I'm saying. This may lead to attackers to gaining complete control of the system installation program. The number 2 is going with the Windows 10 Wi-Fi Sense contact sharing. By default, Windows 10 will share your Wi-Fi credential to Outlook, Skype, and Facebook contacts. You may assume that to make Wi-Fi and hotspot sharing easier, this may make it possible for any of these, as I said, contacts to hook onto your Wi-Fi network without any authentication and authorization. While not necessary software vulnerability, this feature can lead to compromise and should be reminded through the following step. First, change the Wi-Fi network name, SSID, include the terms, and underline no map, underline up TOUT, and prior to upgrade to Windows 10. And post upgrade, change your Windows privacy setting to disable Wi-Fi sense sharing. Win32K
elevation of the privilege vulnerability. This is the serial. You can search for that. This vulnerability involving a flaw in a GUI component Windows 10, namely the scrollable elements, allow a threat actor to gain complete control of the Windows machine through the privilege escalation. So to fix above vulnerabilities, you need to identify the required updates as noted by Windows updates. Try to check always your Windows updates. Try to check out the Microsoft documents and see what's happening there. Our powerful policy engine can validate secure configuration for all the environments, structures, and application stacks. In this case, a simple Windows 10 security policy can be run or check any of these above vulnerabilities, as well as new vulnerabilities not yet added to the policy. Our OWL-backed vulnerability detection and monitoring suite ensure that all the Windows 10 nodes in our environments are free to vulnerability and security flaws. So I put a source here if you want to continue reading for the articles as well. So we talk a little about the Windows vulnerability scanner, show you an example, and vulnerability of Windows, try to talk about some famous one, and explaining what's happening exactly. There I show you the exploit website. You can see and search for the new vulnerabilities and exploit that just released. The next video going to be first video from section 11, taking it to the next level. Good luck. Hello folks, welcome to another section from this course, taking to another level, to the next level in the section 11. Let's go. Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about bash scripting. So it's actually not related to our topic, but as we talk about a lot about Linux and kinda, we can get to it. So I was like, it's a good idea to talk about bash scripting, because if you're learning Linux and any related operation systems, Ubuntu, CentOS, or Fedora, Blackbox, any distribution of the Linux, Unix, or Debians, you need to know bash scripting. It's very important, and you need to know it. So I was like, why I don't have a tutorial on it? Try to give some example, try to write some program in it actually, to automate the programs and then everything. So let's go. What is bash scripting? Before going to show an example and everything, you may wonder, alright, what is bash scripting? A shell script or bash script is a computer program designed to be run by a Unix shell, a common language interpreter, and the various directed of shell script are considered to be a scripting language. Typical operations performed by a shell script include the file manipulations, program executions, and printing tests and automations programs. So actually try to automate the things, try to run the things exactly like programming languages. Python, JavaScript, Java, C++, C#, considered as well programming languages, but in a Unix shell. Alright, let's go to our lab. Here we are in our lab, this time using CentOS 7. You can use your last operation system, which was Kali Linux. No worries about it. So I'm in my directory called bash. If you want to put all your script into one directory, you can use mkdir and your directory name, which is easy, I talked about it before, and cd to it. Alright, let's create our first program. So one important thing is that if you remember, in the Python languages, when you run a program, it was .py, but here we have .sh, which stand for bash scripting or shell scripting. So be aware of that, and if you want to run your program, you need to have .sh extension. Alright. Okay, I write one example before, but it's gonna delete it. But one of the most important things you need to do is that you have this on the first line, which is very important. Do not forget to add it in every shell script you write. It's called the shebang line, and you need to add it in the first line of your program. So this is it. Alright, so I'm going with the easy one. As you know, we have echo, which I'll talk about in the first or second section in this course. It's kind of like using print something. So I'm going to say hello world, typical first word in the programming languages with a smiley face here. I'm going to close this and then save it. And do not forget to give the right permission to it. That's it. Then run it like this. Here we go. We have our print hello world and the smiley face here. Let's go to our file again. Let's close the page. We don't want echo anymore. Let's actually run a Linux command, another Linux command, for example ls-l. Let's see what happened here. Alright, we have ls-l result out here. So what happens if we give another directory of it? Alright, it shows all the files in our home directory. That's great. Close the page, go to command, and edit the file again. So now I want to do like the next level and a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to use a value called greeting. I'm going to fit it into welcome. W welcome. And then from a variable here called user, use $sign to run this command called who am I. It's a Linux command. Like before, let's run try to find out which user are we using now. And another variable called day, because I want to run a dates command in Linux class play and close it and go to the next line. You can always use something like commenting on your code with this comment. It's very important when you back to your code, you can understand what you do exactly. And then I'm going to use echo again to print not just a word. I'm going to use my variable called greeting back user. Let's add a smiley face here too. Alright. And then say today is and variable day. Have a great day. And then I'm actually going to go another thing here. Says your bash shell version is. Good luck. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what's happened now. Okay, we did something wrong here. Line 9 and line 11. That's great. Need to know. All right. That's it. That's what we did wrong. All right. Okay, what's now? That's great. So it says, welcome back. My username. And today is Saturday. Have a great day. Your bash shell version is the version and the release and says good luck. Let's take a look at the command on the code now. So here we set a variable called welcome, and then we set a variable here called user to run who am I, and day to call the day and tell us which day we are in. At the end, it was like, okay, echo this variable, which is welcome, and say back and welcome back, and the variable user, which whoever is it, and then today is the day that's gonna find out which day is it. And so have a great day. Or we can say like this actually. So happy day, right? So happy Saturday. And at the end, we ask it to show us the bash version. It shows. So this is an example and simple things in bash scripting, variables and stuff. Let's go back to PowerPoint. We have a quick brief on a bash script and what is it and why do we need it exactly. And show you an example, try to run a script, and try to explain how you could repeatedly tasks and automate a task on the Linux file systems. And try to show an example by running the 2 or 3 program. The next video is going to be Nmap bash scripting, and we're going to combine Nmap and bash scripting together. Hello everyone again, and welcome back to another video from this section, section 11. In this video, with regard to the last video, we're going to talk about Nmap bash scripting again. So again, we're going to talk about bash scripting, and also I'm going to show you some examples that can be helpful during your process, and show you some tips to how you can find more source and scripts and tools modified by many others in many websites. Probably going to know that, but I'm just going to hit the road and show you some examples. Let's go. Well, one of the useful websites that you can probably use and found is GitHub. I think you usually heard of it, but if you don't, it's a platform for many sources in many languages. So you can just search anything you want and just find a script that fits your requirements or your purpose that you want to do with it. So for example, we have a simple Nmap script here. Let's check out the code. As we can see in the first of the line, as I mentioned before, you should write your shipping line. Then a router, this guy, Snardro Gallo, if I'm pronouncing it right, come here and in the line 3 try to come up with a value, an argument to say scans and scanned dir and tmp over temp. At echo, it's echoing some lines to show when the codes run. And then comment the line says user and mail addresses to send tarball with the scan results. We have echo to print again and show names, the variable, and then the list of users. Then we have the while loop here. That is a programming basics that I'm not going to talk about it here because this is not a programming course, but at all. You can search for it, while loop. Then we have f here in the while loop. Let's come to the phi and down here. As you can see here, let's try to read the username that defined here. So when we're scrolling down, we can reach to the main things that we have. Here, try to scan the profile definitions which user runs the script. When the user runs the script, the definition are going to be the mkdir making a directory in the Linux, and then run this script, and name 0 to the value 0, and destination gonna hit the nmap dash $scan name, that this one present one of the arguments and value that sets and the IP address that user set for the target. And then the arguments dash S capital P and dash capital PS, the port 18, and nmap.xl, and we have the IP address again here. So as I can see, it's a complete bash scripting Nmap source here. We can search for many things again. For example, we can type Nmap. Let's search it in the main page. Alright, we have lots of results here. So we have one code here called shell on Lua. That's for, as I mentioned in the very last videos, is for NSE or Nmap script engine. So we have a shell script here. We're going to check the shell script one. So here's the process of how it's working. As you can see, when the code's run, this is how it works. Very neat and very clear. Very well. So let's have a summary here. We have a summary of the code and the features, how it's going to work, and run on any shell that's a Nmap automator is 100% plus a complement. So it can run on any shell environment. So you can run it on your Kali Linux and any machine that you have. Let's see the code, shall we? Here we are. Here's the code. You can review the code and try to practice for yourself at your home. Let's see the other codes. So you can just download the codes. Let me show you again. When you click on the code, you can copy this and use a widget command and install the tool here. So we can just find that. As you can see here, you can find the language and run with. So we try to find a shell script here. We have many languages actually. We have Python. Let's check out the Python actually. All right. Here's it. We have Python code here. As you can see, it's used Shebang line, but this time for Python. So for each programming languages, we have different programming line. Don't forget that. When we have the print here, for banner, we have the IP address. Please input the IP address they want. So when the user runs the script, ask him to put the IP address and then print. Your IP address that entered is the IP address. Here's it. And then type address represents the input. Please enter type of a scan you want to. We have 3 options here. Represented. Then it's going to show us what we select. And then if represent not in the represent dash key, try to say that if the user selected different things or some nonsense things and do not use one of these options, try to get back into the value option, and else print nmap version scanner.nmap version and try to run the script here, as you can see. Well, as I mentioned, Nmap scripting engine is one of the Nmap most powerful and flexible features that allows the user to write and share simple scripts to automate a wide variety of the networking tasks. Also, the bash script is used to automate a representative task on a Linux file system. It might include a set of comments or a single comment, or it might contain a hallmarks after imperative comments like a loop, while, if, function, conditions, construction, and etc. The scripting bash is a type of interpreter that processes shell commands. A shell bash script is a text file containing a series of command shell. In the next video, I got a hit on this video too. We're going to talk about Python scripting, give you some example of a Python, how to work with Python as a beginner. Let's go. Hello everyone, and welcome to the last video from section 11, taking you to the next level. Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about Python scripting, give you some basic things about it. This is the last video, so that means that this course is going to end. I really suggest you always be updated, keep learning, don't forget to practice all the time, use many sources, take courses, read books, and try to actually practice a lot. Say that again because it's very important. You learn it by practicing, trying to make your resume for yourself, try to do projects, small projects, and that's it. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to talk about Python scripting, how we can Python scripting, why we need it. The same as a shell scripting, I will describe to you. Let's go to the lab. Alright, same as always, we're in a machine. You can use your Kali Linux as well. Well, first of all, I'm going to make a directory called Python scripts. I'm going to set it to it. Scripts. I'm actually going to make a new file called first.py. So for the shell script it was sh, and for Python is py. First thing we need to do is to add the Shebang line. Don't forget your Shebang line, it's very important. Alright. The next thing is, in Python we have so many things, but before do anything after the Shebang line is that we should add the library to do our stuff. So each thing's in the programming, for example, they have their own library. In the bash scripting, there's not many library because all that we do is the bash scripting, the bash shell, and the bash commands. But in Python, in many other languages, you need to add a library for the job you want to. So, for example, the things that usually we want to use in this the scripting for the nmaps, or the things that we want to run in Kali Linux as a command, is import OS. we import the libraries with this command called import and then the library. You can also always go to the Google and find some libraries you need, or try to find out if you want to do something special and specific. Try to find the library you need. Sometimes you cannot run the script without adding the library. Actually, for example, if you want to run the command nmap for a script, we need to add the import OS for a script. So in that case, it's not going to work if we do not add the import OS. All right, Python library. Right. But actually, you can say Python libraries for Nmap or tickle hacking or anything that you wish to do it. All right, we have the first website here that you can use it, read it, and actually see what's happening here. So we have a project description here. The Python Nmap is a Python library which helps us in using a Nmap port scanner. It's allowed to easily manipulate the Nmap scan result and will be a perfect tool for system administrators who want automized scanning tasks and report it. Also support Nmap scanning out of it. So how to download it? The latest version of the library. This is the file name. You can say htclone or based on the distribution that you use, maybe the command is different. And also the installation and pip install and the usage, and also here is an example of it. For example, as you can see here, you use nmap import and nmap. So as I said, we use import to import a library here. And then try to set a variable called n m and set it for nmap port scanner, and then go to IP by default and port, and then here we go. As you can see, all the results here. There's many things that you can find in libraries, or if you can just permission this thing. There we go. Alright. Top 5 Python libraries for penetration testers. Very nice. Actually, all of them are good. We see this one, Python Nmap. But in this script, I'm not going to provide the Nmap library because we can do it differently. If you have Kali Linux or a system that have already installed Nmap on it, so you don't you can just run it in a simple script. After importing a OS library, the first thing you need to learn is how to ask a user something. For example, we're going to type IP address. And add it to the input and ask user, target IP address. So actually we asking them to type IP address of the target. So this is how we ask something from user in Python 3 actually. And then, for example, let's see how it works. Let's print. We use print command to print something in the Python. Alright, so just gonna forget about print address for now. So this is how you can print something here. But now the most important things I want to tell you, also you can use a command and add this command with added this and actually typing something. Port nmap command. So how to use a command and actually execute a command in Python programming. So this is how you use os.system and actually cell nmap -T for a and the IP address. That's it. So what if you don't want to okay, this is how it works. When you use os.system nmap -T for, you actually when you execute, it's going to show you on a terminal. So what's happened? Let's see some example. For example, I don't want to use nmap for now. I'm just going to say ls-a to just run a quick command. Let's see what's happened. Alright, as you can see, it's from the ls-l command. So sometimes we don't want to show the comment. So actually, when you use this value, it's going to actually show the result of it. So what happens if you want to not show the result at all to the user? You're going to say os.p open. So when it's run, it's not going to show the user, so you can actually put in a variable. So also, for example, when you run something here, you can set it for that. Some other variable here, and then do something with the variable. So you can say while true. What is while? We're setting some execution here that says while something is true or something is false, do something else. For example, if the comment was true, or if the comment was, the most simple thing is that say while true, and then set to print something. And then if you don't want to, when you want to break the while and this loop, you're going to type something break, and then the loop and the break. We have the if loop here as well. Saying that if the comment was equal or not equal to something, then can do something, print type. Sorry, I'll say the IP address, because we set a value to ask something from the user, not from our value that we set. IP. And says, after that, I'm going to say else. After if we have else, it's going to say if something that happened, go to the else and actually execute it. So actually we can move this to here. Actually, don't forget to organize it, because it's not going to work. So we're going to say that if the IP address was equal or not equal to something, you can just make it for yourself, print something like type an IP, because the user did not type IP, and then says else. If the user typed right IP or in the right format, says else command os.system. Actually, you can make that execution that says make sure that the user type an IP, a number, not just some nonsense words. We have something called int and string, called str, or it stands for string, and int. Int is for using for numbers, and string actually used for words or anything more than a number. Don't forget that. You can actually set that to make sure the user, with using while or for, actually tell about for too. We have something called for as well, that you can use it in a while loop when you're having a while here. While true. Same here. Saying while true. Don't forget actually do this. Sorry. Alright. We need to have this at the end of the command. Alright, while true. And we have a for here to execute something else in a while loop. Alright. Well, have a summary. The Python Nmap is a Python library which helps in using Nmap to port scanners and make a job easy as well. Nmap Python is all to easily manipulate the Nmap scan results and will be a perfect tool for system administrators who want to automate scanning tasks and reports. Thanks for watching us from here, and I hope you doing the best in your journey, in your field, and always keep learning, try to keep it up, doing well, and always practice. Good luck, and I hope to see you again.